Alright, ladies and gents, welcome to the live stream of the Niel Patel Memorial Trophy. This is the grand final between Pac First and Freedom, and the news from the middle is that Pac First have won the toss and they have elected to bat first, so they will be setting the target here tonight from the Laurel Hill ground in New Jersey. Fantastic evening here tonight, and I am joined in the commentary box by Bilal. Bilal, good evening.
Good evening, Jamie. How are you?
I'm very good. Hoping for a good game of cricket tonight.
I certainly hope so. So it seems like Team Pakistan has won the toss, and they're batting first. It seems like Umair's out there to open. We're hearing a lot of big things about this kid. He certainly hit some really big hits here.
Yeah, I've been told he's hit a few into the, well, almost to the water here at the Laurel Hill ground, so he's certainly got some power. He'll be at the non-striker's end, I believe, to begin, and Asad Munawar will be taking strike first ball, and it will be Jasdeep Singh who will open the bowling for the Freedom team.
Just an extra bit of info about Umair is that he also happens to be vice captain of the team.
And of course, Jasdeep Singh, for those of you who follow US cricket, will know that he is currently in the USA national team in the squad. He was recently away with the US team in Scotland for a World T20 qualifier. Of course, the tournament where USA came oh so close to qualifying. Unfortunately, they needed to win their last game very, very big, and which they did in fact, but they needed other results to go their way. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but a good effort from the boys in that tournament. And his teammate, Akeem Dodson, wicket-keeper this evening, also from the USA team. So obviously they're a strong side, but this Pac First team, who you'd probably have to say are the home team here tonight. I've seen a number of these players play out at this ground as we are underway.
First ball, no run. Jesse has a pretty long run-up, I just noticed. He runs all the way from the 30-yard circle.
He certainly does.
And by the way, pet name Jesse. We all local cricketers tend to know that because he's sort of popular around. We call him Jesse.
Yeah, very long run up. We are standing side on here at the Laurel Hill ground, so forgive us if we can't tell you exactly the line of each delivery. We will do our best. Next delivery played over the infield on the offside, over the man at cover, and that is the first boundary. So 4 runs from the second delivery. A little bit wide of off stump, and he followed through with what was almost just a check drive. And
certainly
just
a push. It seems like the pitch is extremely flat today. He was able to just put his bat there and get pretty good result out of it. I think that was Asad Munawar. So we're underway here. 4 runs for Pac First. Jesse's still trying to settle down, trying to find the right length to the batter.
So of course you can also follow along with the live score on crickhq.com. Just search for the Laurel Hill T20 tournament, and you should be able to find not only the live score for this match, but all of the stats and the results from the rest of the tournament.
Jesse runs in for the 3rd delivery of the over. Oh, finally finds the right line and length to the batsman. Play and a miss.
So 4 without loss, the score remains. And Bilal, you've probably witnessed more games out here on this field than I have. What do you think is a par score batting first?
You know, knowing the pitch, knowing the conditions, I would say 160, 165. However, what I do know about Pac First is even if they fail to register 150 on the board, they have enough variety in their bowling lineup to defend pretty low scores. I've seen them defend 120, 115.
As Again, a good tight delivery, but it's knocked into the onside through the vacant mid-wicket region, and they jog through for a single.
So it's one of those situations. I personally feel Pack First, their strength is their bowling. So par score or no par score, they can defend. But what will be interesting to see is the kind of quality that Freedom has in their batting won't be easy to stop. These are not one of those local players where you can simply have change of pace and you get wickets. So it should be very interesting how this game goes. So my opinion, it's going to be hard for me to pinpoint what the par score should be.
Fair enough. As the big hitting Umar Farouk takes strike for his first delivery, the last delivery of this, the first over. Remembering that this is the grand final of the Laurel Hill T20 tournament, the Niel Patel Memorial Cup. And true to form, he whips it away off his legs, and a good diving effort by the fielder, but it was all in vain, and that's gone away for 4.
That was Monarch at square leg who tried to stop that, but Umair certainly put a lot of timing behind that shot, flicked it beautifully.
And in fact, there's still one delivery to go in the over, so first over of the day, and I've already counted wrong. Not a good start. Never mind, hopefully I get better as the match progresses.
We will be just fine. There's been a lot of action for the first over.
Absolutely.
I think Monarch sort of hurt his knee over there trying to stop the ball.
Well, it's a nice outfield as far as the standard of USA fields go, but it's still a little bit bumpy, and particularly that area where he just dove to try and cut the ball off. There's a few divots in the field, so I won't be surprised if he's got a few little bumps and bruises from that effort.
Well, one certainly hopes he will bat, and he will be okay to bat. He's a treat to watch, this kid, Monarch. I've played against him. Clean striker of the ball.
So still one delivery left in this first over. Seems to have been going forever.
Yes.
Although good to see that we actually got this match underway on time, which is nice.
It is quite interesting because I don't think he's bowled any extras.
No, he hasn't.
Yet it feels like a very long over. Pretty sure his run-up has something to do with it too. Oh, flicks one. This could be the first wicket. Oh, he's gone. Umair goes.
Well, that's a big breakthrough, and ex-West Indies international player Xavier Marshall is the man who takes the catch, jogging around from his position at slip, and well, the Freedom boys will be over the moon about that one. Umar Farouk dismissed.
Oh, that's a big wicket. That too in just the first over.
Absolutely.
So we've had a bit of everything in this over.
We have. We've had boundaries, we've had wickets, we've had false starts from the bowler, and it's taken about 10 minutes, but at the end of one, 9 for 1, Pack first, batting first against Freedom, and the final of the Niel Patel Laurel Hill T20 tournament for 2015.
Xavier Marshall, the guy getting under the ball, taking a clean catch. He's been quite interesting too. If you look at his international past, he played for the West Indies, played a number of ODIs, wasn't able to cement his place in the team, and then just sort of disappeared.
Yeah, that's right, and we've seen him play in a number of tournaments around the US, and obviously some club cricket as well. I don't know if he still harbours hopes of one day playing for the West Indies again. He's certainly a fine player, and hopefully we get to see him bat a little bit later on this evening, as we have to wait and see who will be opening the bowling from the far end. Thankfully the players all have numbers on their shirts, which is a good help to us standing up on the hill.
It seems like it will be Monarch, as the kid who was fielding at square leg. Let's see if he can get some confirmation, but I think it is Monarch. You can tell from his run-up.
Yep, number 99 on the back. So clearly he didn't do too much damage when he dove to try and cut off that boundary. He will bowl from what I'm guessing is the southern end of the ground. Been a little bit turned around since I travelled here on the train.
Might be east or west.
Yeah, I'm probably completely wrong. I'm having a shocker.
Well, speaking of Monarch, having played against him, he tries to hit the right areas for the most part. He tries to hit good length, short of good length actually. A little bit outside off stump. Sometimes as a changeup he would bring one in. But he has a tendency of bowling one short ball every over. Obviously still perfecting his art. He's a young boy.
And with all the excitement, we forgot to mention that the new batsman is in fact Adil Nushawan. Oh, no, it's not. My apologies. It is... Yes, it is. I was right the first time. Adil Nushawan with number 10 on his back. Left-handed batsman.
So Monarch to Adil. There you go. That's the length he tries to hit mostly. And I think it's good in the beginning when the batsman's new, when you're trying to hit that length, but as batsmen get set on flat tracks, it sort of becomes difficult to contain them with this length because they can start treating this length as a short ball and they're ready to get under it. So it should be interesting how his spell goes and how many overs he bowls up front. Second ball for Monarch.
And there's that length you're talking about again, just back of a length. He's bowled it well so far, and the key at this stage is he's bowling dead straight. That's almost passing out, well, from our angle, almost passing over the top of the stumps.
And because he's bowling the length that he's bowling, it is hard for us to tell if he's getting any movement off the pitch. Let's keep an eye. If he changes his length, that might help us.
So 9 for 1, the score remains. 1.2 overs gone.
And that is the issue with that length. But he's bowling to his field. Jesse runs in, but I think short or backward point fielder was able to get to the ball before Jesse did.
So a couple of runs, just backward of point for Nushawan, so he's underway, and the score moves on to 11 for 1.
Close to us is Shemroy Barrington, standing at mid-wicket, or between mid-wicket and square leg. He had a dream weekend this past weekend. Scored 96 runs of 25 balls.
Good Lord. That's almost cruel to the bowlers, as the next ball is a bit tighter into the body of Nushawan. He's unable to get it away, but he's persisting with this back of a length bowling. It's working for him in the main.
Speaking of Shemroy, yes, that was very cruel to the bowlers. It was actually against my team.
Oh dear, doubly cruel.
But I tell you, it was an absolute treat to watch. Clean striker. Absolutely clean. Almost seemed like he didn't belong at this level.
Well, there's a few players like that floating around who on their day you think, how are these guys not playing international cricket? Swing and a miss this time. Dodson behind the stumps, unable to take it cleanly. I wonder if it swung after pitching.
It probably swung into him, but I have a feeling he was not expecting that length from Monarch. Pitched it up a little bit there.
Yeah, it was a little bit fuller. He certainly went for the drive. Big swing, no ding, as they say. Swing and a miss.
Monarch is bowling over the wicket to the lefty, so that might have been across him. Actually, I take that moving in part back.
And this one is called no ball. It's given it no ball for height, which is interesting. I believe that should be called wide for height, not no ball. But hey, I'm not the umpire.
Well, they might be following our local rules where anything above the shoulder is a no ball. That might be the reason. I'm not sure.
Fair enough. I will put myself back in my place, leave it to the umpires to make those decisions. I'm sure they're not out there trying to commentate as we see a dot ball to finish the over, and after 2 completed overs, Pack first, batting first, 12 for 1, so even me with my limited mathematical ability can work out they're going at 6 and over. Just a reminder that this is in fact the Niel Patel Memorial Trophy that you are watching.
The grand final between Team Pack and Freedom.
Yeah, it's the dream final really. These are the two teams that I think most people were hoping would make it through to the big game. So if you're in the area and you're listening to us right now, make sure you get down to the ground. Should be a good match in prospect here. The pitch looks like it's playing well. Two strong teams. The weather's fine, apart from a little bit of a breeze, but that's nice. It's keeping the temperature down to comfortable levels. And Jesse Singh is going to continue from the water end of the ground. Right arm over the wicket. Short, hammered, 6. Simple as that. Not sure why I'm signalling the umpire out of habit, but anyway, both arms raised. First 6 of the innings, absolutely creamed it.
First 6 of the inning.
And that was Farouk, I believe. Sorry, Munawar. Farouk, of course, has been dismissed. As we watch a replay, boom, nailed it.
Speaking about these Team Pack guys, or Pack First guys, they're mostly from Brooklyn. They all play together, and I've seen them go around, travel to all different parts of the country and play these T20 tournaments, and they've... Let's wait for this delivery. Jesse runs in. Oh, beautiful change in length. Gets a Yorker in. Dotson gets...
That's what we call a good follow-up delivery. He's just been pasted over square leg for 6, and he rips in the searing Yorker, and boy, unlucky that it didn't cannon into the stumps, but a good battle between bat and ball here. And yeah, I've actually seen these guys as well, Bilal. I think it was last year at the US Open. They had a tremendous tournament, and they were almost crowd favourites there.
Wow.
As Jesse again loses his run-up. Perhaps he needs to shave 10 yards off the run-up, might help him.
Going by the breeze at the ground, it seems like Jesse should get big in-swing into the righties. Now, whether or not he would be able to control that should be interesting to see. My guess is this is also going to be a full delivery.
You called it. Looks like it may be a leg by. We'll have to wait for the umpire's call. Yes, it is.
It seems like Asad having a bit of issue with the ball coming in at full length from Jesse. It should be interesting if Jesse continues that length against him when he's back on strike, or if he is going to be more conservative and go for a defensive length, or a safe length rather, not defensive. Meanwhile, Adil is on strike now. This should be his first delivery against Jesse.
And what I've seen of Jesse over the few years I've been in this country, he's not usually one to try and bowl defensively. I think it's one of his great strengths is he's always looking to take wickets. Means occasionally he's expensive, but often he gets those key breakthroughs just when his team needs it.
Jesse runs in for his 4th delivery of the over.
It's just an edge this time over the solitary man in the slip cordon.
Sluggish outfield there. They get 3 runs.
That's good running. Very good running. It's not the biggest boundary in the world, but they've managed to scamper through for 3. And credit has to go to Munawar there, who was always looking for 3, knowing the throw was coming to his end. You'd have to say that was a bit of a false shot, but there was enough width there that Nushawan was able to free his arms.
Well, there's no third man, so no harm in throwing the bat at it.
Exactly. You've got to be pretty unlucky to get a faint edge through to the keeper. As it was, he got enough bat to clear the infield. full, looking for that Yorker
Shamrock.
length. They scamper a single to mid-on. Score moves on to 23 for 1.
I'm not sure about what you think, Jamie, but I'm a little bit confused with the field setup. So with the right-handed batsman on strike, they tend to have offside-dominated field. They had a deep point, they had deep cover, and for the lefty, again, they have a fielder at the boundary. Actually, so I guess they think that Adil is a square player. It's nicely guided on the front foot to third man or behind point.
They'll get a couple here. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's interesting. Perhaps they know something that we don't. Perhaps it's the bowling plans, that they're going to look to bowl a slightly shorter length to Nushawan, and therefore perhaps he'll be looking to play square more. But the fields are certainly quite different for left and right handers as we see the end of the third over. And at the end of 3, 25 for 1 the score. Pack first, batting first against Freedom. Pretty good start, although obviously they'll be disappointed to have lost that 1 wicket. The wicket of their vice-captain and hard-hitting batsman Umar Farouk. He was out the last ball of the first over, caught by Xavier Marshall, running around from slip, a miss-hit pull shot which was top-edged. But since then, Nushawan and Munawar have gone along nicely. We've got currently Munawar 12 off 8 deliveries with 1 boundary and 1 big 6 over square leg. And Nushawan is 7 off 9 deliveries. So a good partnership developing at the moment.
It's what I would call a promising start. It's the sort of start where if you get 2 good overs somewhere, you're dominating the game, but you're never quite out of it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they've got some spinners, when the spin starts to come on.
Monarch with the first delivery of his second over, easy single, tapped to the leg side.
The last time I was calling a match at this ground, in fact the only other time I've called a match at this ground, was the first match in the Indo-Pac series, which was recently completed, and spin absolutely dominated that game. I think both scores were under 120. I think it was Pakistan batted first and maybe just got over 120 in the end. In what was a pretty close finish, they defended 120, and like I say, the spinners were absolutely vital in that game, so it'll be interesting to see. Short, smashed over the infield, and that should go all the way, although the man's running around from point, and in fact it looks like he's cut it off and kept the scoring to 2.
I think that we got to give credit to the 12th man there, which is the field. That should have gone to the boundary.
Yeah, absolutely. Although the grass is pretty lush, you'd have to say.
I guess it's a little too lush.
Yes.
I think I have not been able to pinpoint why this ground is not very fast. It could be just the type of grass we use here is different from what they use in other countries. I think the grass in other countries is much thinner. Monarch with his 4th delivery. And again, a beautiful cover drive by Adil. This time the fielder misses.
It's a shame. He made good ground to his right, got behind the ball, and then I don't know if it took a bad bounce or not, but it's gone straight through his legs to the boundary. So that is 4 runs where it probably should have only been 1. And yeah, well, there's a number of a long list of challenges in cricket in this country. One of them being that most of the grounds are council owned or owned by the city, and therefore clubs and leagues have to work very closely with their municipal. As we just watch this delivery, slower ball.
Monarch gets him. Monarch gets his wicket.
Slower delivery outside off. He went for the big heave again, and a little touch through to keeper Dodson, who does the rest. And that's the second wicket, and another promising partnership is nipped in the bud just as it looked like they were starting to take control of the match. So 32 for 2 the score.
Should be interesting to see who is coming in next. I think it's Syed Abdullah.
It is number 5 on his back.
Now it's quite interesting. This kid I've followed not too much, but when he started his cricket, when he was very, very young, I played a few games against him, and at the time he was more of an opening bowler who could swing the ball away. Very aggressive. With the batting, he always loved the leg side. I think he still does. A lot of people call him Shane Watson because he looks similar to him, his physique, and I feel certainly his game, the way he plays on the front foot, it's sort of designed based on how Watson plays also. So it's quite interesting to watch him bat.
So what you're saying is he plays around the front pad, gets LBW a lot, and always reviews his decisions? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, mine is the review part because we don't have that available here.
You're kidding me.
But
we can't do LBW reviews? Nah.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Monarch runs in now. That it should be interesting if Monarch knows him. I would like Monarch to bowl an off stump and move the ball into him. Let's see. Monarch runs in. Oh, he does that. It's a beautiful delivery. It was a little bit too full, I feel. Going down, probably swinging into Abdullah. Was a beautiful start from Monarch there. He could have gotten him. But that right there is Abdullah's issue. Very similar to Watson, as I said. I feel if he has to bring the length back a little bit, move one away, and then bring one in.
Well, to any young players, or even older players watching, I'll finish that thought after this delivery.
You cannot bowl short of length to this guy. He's massive.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that that issue of getting hit on the front pad and playing around your front pad too often, as we see the end of the 4th over, 33 for 2 at the end of 4, it's an issue of balance. And I see it so often, particularly in young players. If your head in your stance is outside the line of your toes, it means your weight is heading towards the offside, and if you move too early, your foot is naturally going to follow the weight of your head and go towards the offside. I have struggled with this myself throughout my career. You need to try and stay still at the crease and keep that head upright, and then generally, depending, obviously then you can react to the line of the delivery, and if it's straight you have to get that front foot out of the line of the ball and have the back coming down in the line of the ball.
Completely agree. Recently I've actually spent a lot of time with one of the traveling players, Mohammad Ashraful, and gotten a lot of good tips from him, and his thought on that issue is that starts to happen when you're looking to drive everything through the offside on the front foot, and you don't realize you become a really good driver through covers, and in no time your foot is now used to moving in the direction of covers every time. Now if you're facing bowlers that aren't very fast, you can get away with it because you can adjust.
As we see our first bowling change of the evening, and it's going to be Sumit Kumar, who by the looks of it is a left arm orthodox spinner, possibly an off spinner.
Sumit Kumar from Freedom. Abdullah on strike.
Yep, left arm orthodox. First ball beats him outside the off stump, perhaps a little bit of turn there.
A little bit of turn. He never took out his front foot. You can tell he's new at the crease.
Yeah, it'll take these guys a few deliveries at least to adjust to the turn and bounce from the spinners.
Sumit will be well advised not to pitch on leg stump to Abdullah. Still no front foot, but bat speed's good. Timing it well. Tentative front foot.
So spin in the 5th over. I guess that's fairly standard these days in T20 matches.
Abdullah hits this one up in the air. The mid-wicket fielder takes the catch, and there's the third wicket.
Well, judging from the reaction of the players, I think most of them had money on the ball, just quietly.
Oh,
They
yes.
seem very happy that the man at mid-wicket has taken the catch. That's number 14, Patel. And another wicket, and well, you'd have to say that that was a long hop, and it deserved to probably disappear somewhere over our heads.
You know, this is something I've noticed with a lot of aggressive batsmen. When they come out, they have certain strong shots, and I'm sure this is Abdullah's strong shot. But because he was not getting on the front foot, his kick back to the back foot shot wasn't probably as efficient as it would have been if he was pressing forward properly, like he typically does. And it all goes back to the basics where you have to get on the front foot first, start timing a few deliveries, and he had a lot of time. They have good run rate. He's missed out on a very good opportunity here. It seemed like if he was set, this ball was going to go for a 6 quite easily, given the way he went back, and his bat speed looked pretty good before he faced this ball.
Yeah, and I guess it's also a product of the heavy diet of T20 cricket that we're seeing all over the world these days, that guys, when they get a loose delivery, they're looking to hit it for 6 first. So back in the day with those old guys like myself, we were brought up on a diet of test cricket and 2-day cricket, and you know, you had to bat time and you wouldn't play cross bat shots until you're on at least 30 not out. And there he's got about maybe his 5th delivery, and he's looked to whack it out of the park, as we see the new batsman, who is in fact at the non-striker's end, Jahanzeb Chowdhury.
So if you, well, now we're just defended beautifully on the front foot. He's clearly much more settled. There you go. Those are little adjustments that you make when you're settled at the crease. He decided not to go over the mid-wicket fielder and got a single out of it. So that's the end of 5th over.
It is 34 for 3 after 5, with Munawar, who's been there since the start. He opened the batting. He's 14 not out, and the new man Chowdhury yet to face the delivery, and he won't face the delivery yet either, because of course Munawar got a single the last ball of that over.
Asad Munawar now asking for a cap. Instead he's getting some drinks, it seems like.
And while we've got a couple of moments here, I just want to go back to a thought that I didn't quite complete from earlier regarding the outfield. You were saying that, you know, the outfields here tend to be a little bit longer, and I think it's due to the challenge with clubs and leagues where they have to work with the local council or the local city authorities, who in the main are the people that look after and maintain these grounds. And because in general they don't understand the sport of cricket, they don't understand what is required, they leave the grass a lot longer, and it's obviously a frustration for the cricketers, but it also means that the upkeep of the ground is a lot easier because they don't get as damaged in the bad weather. So it's a tough one, and it's not something that's going to be fixed overnight, but hopefully as more and more cricket is played and these people get to understand the game more, we'll see some better outfields as we see another bowling change.
Another left arm off break. Easy single for Asad.
It is in fact Shrujil Patel who has just bowled his first delivery.
And this is a trend I've seen in a lot of teams these days in 2020s, even in 40 over cricket in New Jersey, where teams keep going to their left arm off break bowlers because that is one form of bowling that batsmen, right-handed batsmen, still find tough around here to play. The ball is always turning away, and with the variety in the variable bounce available in pitches around New Jersey, it can get even trickier with the arm ball coming in and staying low.
Yeah, well, a good left arm spinner is worth his weight in gold to most teams around the world, but you're right, particularly at club level. Right-hand batsman. This is a nice shot here for Chowdhury to get underway. He gets a single off his first delivery. But yeah, and again, it comes back to what we were saying about, you know, balance on the front foot. And we know a decent left-arm orthodox spinner will get drift in towards the right-hander. And if you commit too early to that front foot on the offside, as we see another single, well run, down to the man at mid-off. So yes, if you commit too early to that front foot on the offside and the ball starts to tail in with the drift, then you can very easily get caught playing around your front pad, getting hit on that pad, or even getting out bat pad.
Shahzeb Chaudhry on strike. Oh, he gets a short ball. Well fielded at short fine. No run.
He really missed out there. That was a bit of a loose delivery, and he's found the one man behind mid wicket on the leg side. Hit it straight to him. No run. 37 for 3, the score remains.
Shrujul for his 5th delivery, I think. Again, easy front foot single.
Yeah, that's good cricket by these two. Just they're not getting any boundary balls, although perhaps they missed out on one boundary ball, but they're picking up the singles just to keep the score ticking over. Run rate's certainly not an issue at this stage, but perhaps 3 wickets is a bit of an issue.
Shahzeb Chaudhry is another hard-hitting batsman who has played for a variety of teams actually over the years. He's a very good front foot striker. So, as you can see, he's trying to get on the front foot every ball. That is really his strong point. Gets another single.
Yeah, another single to end the 6th over. 39 for 3 after 6. And of course, when we get a chance, we'd also like to mention the sponsors who have helped to make this tournament possible. Crick Max, of course, indoor facility in Jersey, fantastic facility. If you ever want to book some indoor lanes, then Crick Max are the people to go to. Also, New Jersey Farm Liquors. I assume that's for all your liquor requirements. So if you're looking for a big weekend, perhaps a big Wednesday evening, they're the people you need to go and see. Thanks to them for their support of this event.
Because it's the Patel,
Just a reminder that you can get, of course, the live score. Well, the live scores, of course, are on screen, but you can get all of the stats as well, not only from this match, but from the rest of the tournament on crickhq.com.
Sumit to Shahzeb. There you go.
And he's
There
got
you go.
nicely to the pitch of that one, and that has gone well over Jesse's head for a big maximum, as Danny Morrison would say.
That is his strength. So anything flighted when he said he will go down the track. Has great balance on the front foot.
So we see a replay of it here. Boom. That was right out of the screws. And he just stands and admires. As do the fielders.
He knew it was gone the moment he struck.
Yeah.
Now, looking at the breeze, I'm not sure if Sumit does get drift into the righties usually, but he should. There's a strong breeze. That's well played, pushed through covers. Thinking of second.
Yeah, that's good batting, because that big 6 down the ground, you could see what was in the bowler's mind there. He's thinking, I don't want to get smacked back over my head again, so he's pulled the length back.
The flight
just
was gone
means,
too.
yeah, absolutely, and it just means easy picking for a single into the offside. So good, sensible batting. It's what they need at this stage, 3 wickets down.
See what Asa does now. There you go, easy single. No, well fielded.
Cut off by the bowler.
It's a good hand there.
So 46 for 3, part way through the 7th over. Pack first, batting first against Freedom. Of course, for those of you who may have joined us a little bit late, Pack first won the toss and decided to bat first. This time flighted up nicely, and he will get the single this time. In fact, they may... No, there were thoughts about coming back for the second, but the man in the deep, number 11, Patel, got to the ball quickly and fired it back into the bowler, so just the single.
Sumit now getting ready for the 5th delivery.
It is the 5th delivery, I believe. Change in
Should
the
be
field.
interesting. Now Janzeb's back on strike, so it should be interesting what length he's going to bowl. I don't think he's going to flight this one. He will stay flat, in my opinion. Let's see. No, flights this one.
Oh, that's the first thing you've got wrong all day, Bilal. So you've got a few mistakes yet to catch up to me, but you're on the board as they get a single. Chowdhury, Munawar moves on to 24. Chowdhury back on strike.
I'm quite impressed. He flighted that ball despite the 6. That's good bowling.
And a good tight delivery to end the over. Dodson scampers out from behind the stumps to prevent any single. And another over comes to an end. Pack first now 48 for 3 at the end of 7.
Oh, that was a pretty good comeback after that first 6.
Absolutely. And just a reminder, you are watching the grand final of the Niel Patel Memorial Cup.
Later on, of course, after the break, we will see Xavier Marshall and likes of Shamrock Barrington in action, which should be quite interesting and entertaining for the crowd here. And everybody watching via YouTube.
Yeah, thanks to Strive for bringing us these live pictures.
Now, Asad Munawar is back on strike against Shrujul. Shrujul bowling his second over. So far, he's given away just 10 runs. No, sorry, 5 runs. So spinners right now. Pitched up, hit through the line to mid-off, and they steal 2 runs. Oh, that's a bullet throw from Barrington.
I tell you what, he's taken a ball in the back, but he's probably saved his wicket there, because that throw was rocketing towards Akeem Dodson at the far end, and he would have been short.
3 physios running from Team Pack. Oh, Pack first. I keep saying that, I beg your pardon. Asad has gotten struck in his back.
Yeah, I think he's okay. Probably just take this opportunity to have a drink, right? Bit of a rest.
I think so. I think that was quite cheeky of him. He was on the ground as soon as the drinks came. He got up.
What is this, soccer we're playing? And that couple of runs has in fact brought up the 50 for Pack first, so we'll give them a small round of applause. Not sure if you can pick up the cheers from the crowd and the effects mic.
So 50 runs, 7.1 overs, 3 wickets down.
It's a good even contest.
It's an even contest, yes, and as I said, it's against Pack first bowling. It will be interesting to see how the game goes on. If they get to anywhere close to 160, 170 mark, this is a serious game on. And Xavier Marshall, Shamrock Barrington,
Akeem Dodson.
One of them would have to click and score big, but you know, too early to say anything like that. Let's see how things go. Also, I think it's Janzeb. It's beautifully pushed.
Oh, that would have been tight if that throw had hit direct. As soon as he played it, he took off, but boy, it was pretty tight.
I think that was Xavier Marshall who threw the ball.
It was.
And that's another thing, you know, that's courtesy beautiful grounds here. If this was an actual turf wicket, Dodson would have been able to collect the ball much easily. But the awkward bounce just moved the ball away from him. It's Asad back on strike. Tries to stand and deliver. Doesn't work out for him. The ball was in a very good area.
Now the good thing for, I guess, the sake of the match and the sake of all the spectators is the pitch is playing very well. We haven't seen anything yet that's kept low. The batsmen have been able to play their shots, which is great. So we see another shot here, and the fielder diving from backward point has missed the ball, which means they will be able to amble through for a second run. So another 2 to the total takes the score on to 53 for 3. Chowdhury moves on to 5. So the Cricket HQ website, as we see, big shot here, short, and it got the treatment this time. That is into the bushes on the far side of the field opposite us. It really was a bit of a half tracker, so finally we see a half tracker get what it deserves, and that, I believe, is the third 6 of the innings and the first for Chowdhury, and he moves into double figures now, 11, and the score 59 for 3. But yeah, I was going to say the Cricket HQ website projecting, not sure how they work this out, but they've got all these flash analytics in the background of their website projecting that the score would be about 150 from here, but we'll have to wait and see.
There you go. Jonathan pushes one through covers, gets a single. Jesse, beautiful dive, stops the second from happening.
So 60 for 3 at the end of 8 overs. Chowdhury on 12 and Munawa on 28.
.59, 8 overs done. So far we've seen 4 bowlers. Let's see if this is going to be time for another change. I see Shemroy playing with the ball. I doubt if he's going to get to bowl in the game. He's more popular or famous for his batting.
Fair enough. No, it looks like Kumar will continue. So this will be his 3rd over so far. He has 1 for 10. So one of the wicket takers so far. Perhaps while we are talking about bowling figures, I will run through the figures to date. We have Jesse Singh, who opened 2 overs, 1 for 21. Manak Patel, who opened from the other end, 2 overs, 1 for 11. So he's had a pretty good day so far. Sumit Kumar, who's about to start his 3rd, as I said, 1 for 10. And Shrujal Patel, 2 overs, none for 17.
Sumit Patel with the first ball to Jazeb.
And they run another tight single. They're taking on the field, and so far they're getting the best of them. Chowdhury moves on to 13, the score to 61 for 3. And Munawa back on strike, the mainstay of the pack first batting so far. As we see Bilal, a bit of a crowd starting to build here. Perhaps guys who have finished work starting to make their way down.
It's a lovely ground. Second. Oh, there you go. Jazeb comes down the track. Well, Asa comes down the track. Picks it up over long on. Very similar to the shot that John Zeb hit earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Second 6 we've seen in that exact direction, and that's the 3rd 6 for Munawa. And he will move into the 30s now, 34 off just 21 deliveries. So he's going at a strike rate of in excess of 150, which at any level is pretty darn good.
See the lights coming on now at Laurel Hill Park. So speaking of the ground, it's a beautiful ground. A lot of people come out here just to walk, and then they realize there's a very interesting, exciting game going on, and they're now stopping and just hanging out here on the grass banks watching the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And another advantage is it's very close to the Secaucus railway station. So for those of us who don't actually live in Jersey, who live in New York, we can just jump on a New Jersey Transit train and get here pretty quickly. As he's attempted to repeat the shot, but he's picked out the man in the deep. at mid-off. And a wicket. We'll have to try and find out who the player is. I think it's number 13. Shemroy Barrington, who has taken the catch. No, it is not. I've read my number wrong. It's number 3. Amin Jasani, who took a comfortable catch at chest height down on the mid-off fence. So that's a big wicket. Munawar has been there since the beginning of the innings and was batting well. He had just hit a lovely 6 over long on, and in attempting to repeat the shot, he has fallen to the bowling of Kumar. Kumar's 2nd wicket and the 4th wicket for Freedom. 67 for 4 now, Pack first.
I think the issue there was the ball was a little bit too full and faster, so there wasn't enough flight for the batsman to get under it and get the distance on it. He was set enough to pick the man, but didn't pick the right ball. Probably should have just pushed that wide of long off for a single, possibly double. If he had timed it well, he could have picked up a boundary also. Well, Pack first now. 4 down.
As we see the new batsman, I believe, is Zahib Tariq, number 18.
Zahib Tariq. Do not know much about him. Moves nicely onto the back foot, gets a single, bats him back, flips the ball. Relay.
So he's underway straight away. And he'll need to look to build a partnership with Chowdhury. So just a reminder to any of you who might be listening or watching this at home, as we watch another delivery, another good straight one which is played into the offside, no run. If you're watching from home and you want to get involved in the broadcast, you could send me a tweet to @JamiePaulLloyd, all lowercase, all one word. Send me a tweet, ask me a question, or perhaps make a comment on the match. Please don't comment on any of my commentary mistakes. I'm you know, very sensitive about such things, but you could maybe perhaps tell Bilal what a fantastic job he's doing, and if we think your tweet is worthy, we might even mention it on air. So get involved. As we see the end of another over, 68 for 4 after 9, so just 11 overs left, approaching the halfway stage of the innings, and still we see that the projected score is hovering around that 150 mark, but if they lose any more wickets in the next 5 overs, you'd have to say that that projected score will start to dip pretty significantly.
Looking at the lineup of Pack first, I have to say I'm quite surprised why Naveed Gul has not come out yet to bat. Naveed Gul, of course, very, very fine striker. Opens the batting for his team on Sundays. In fact, he and Shemroy Barrington play on the same team on Sundays. Fantastic striker.
Perhaps they're saving him for the last 5 overs. Now, I believe you said this particular chap was not going to bowl.
Shemroy Barrington, that is quite a surprise.
Well, that's 2 mistakes you've made now. You're catching up, Bilal. As we see his little off breaks.
Well, my research on him before I actually got here.
You did research? Well,
yes.
I'll take one of those mistakes off you.
He has bowled locally here in Jersey, but he typically doesn't bowl.
Right. Well, he started fairly well here. Just a single off that second delivery behind square on the leg side. Just conceded the 1 in his 2 balls to date.
Should be interesting how this goes. Freedom pulling back the run rate off Pack first. Now 69 and 9.2 overs, 4 down. I think from this period, Barrington runs in. It's actually a very good flight he's getting there. The ball's dropping nicely, has a nice dip on the ball.
He's got a nice action. He clearly knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
And perhaps with Jesse Singh going for 10.5 runs and over, they're trying to sneak in some overs from someone else. This
That's
time it's
fast.
short and quick. Another dot ball.
You know, one interesting thing I've noticed, the cricketers like Shamrock Barrington that have played, obviously have played a lot of domestic cricket. Try to get a single. Nothing there. Good fielding, good bowling, good tight bowling to the field. So bowlers like Shamroy, who have bowled a lot at the domestic level, he's played for the West Indies A, played for Guyana, scored a lot of runs. Even with the bowling, they may not get to bowl at that level, but they have decent ability with the ball when they are asked to bowl, especially if they come to a level like we're watching here. Runs in. Flights again.
This time there will be a run into the offside. So just the 2 off his first over, so a good tight start by Barrington. 70 for 4 at the halfway stage, so they're going at 7 runs and over, which is still pretty good as far as run rate goes. It gives them a base to launch from, but of course 4 wickets down will be of slight concern. But as you said, they've still got Naveed Gul in the hutch, who according to you can hit the ball a long way, so
Absolutely.
maybe 160, 170 is still on the cards. Now perhaps a further incentive for you guys to get involved and maybe send me a few tweets. I do actually have a few prize packs here, courtesy of dream11.com, the #1 fantasy cricket site in the world. I've got some t-shirts and some mini signature bats and some stickers. So if you send me a tweet, I might send you one.
Sumit bowling his last over.
Boy, that looks like it's turned almost square. He's looked to defend that. I mean, from this angle, it's a little bit difficult to tell, but it looks like he's looked to defend that on leg stump, and it's spun past his edge into the gloves of Dodson.
Sumit. I think Sumit, we can clearly see there's a certain amount of drift he's getting, or he's getting big turn. But definitely the breeze is on his side. If he is now landing the ball in the right area along with drift, he will get quite tough to play. Good thing for Pack first is this is the last over.
Again, good tight delivery. Tariq struggling to tick the scoreboard over here. Although to be fair, he's only been there for 4 deliveries.
So Jamie, since you've commentated here before, I'm assuming you've watched some games here too. What do you think should be par score at this point, given the situation Pack first is in?
Given the situation, they'll be looking for 150. Another good tight delivery.
That one jumped.
Having said that, Freedom will back themselves to maybe take another couple of wickets in the next 5 or 6 overs, in which case they'll be hoping to keep Pack first under 135, I would say. But I think anything over 150 will be a very good game.
That is well played. Created his own length almost. It wasn't that short. Maybe he was banking on the ball to turn a lot, and he just waited on the back foot and timed it through covers. Got a single out of it. But those are the kind of shots that sometimes throw a bowler off when they're bowling really good length, because they forget what good length is, because if they can dig this one out through covers, what should they bowl? This ball should be interesting. Last ball of the over. Finds beautiful length again, Sumit. That's the end of his very, very good spell. Just 19 runs at 4.96, which is not bad given that almost everybody that he's bowled to is a fine striker.
Yep, absolutely. Well done, that man. 4 overs, 2 for 19. A good spell for Freedom. But there will need to be a change of bowler at the water end of the ground. I don't even know what that water is, whether it's the ocean or a river or a lake.
Let's call it a lake.
Yeah, we'll call it a lake. So it's the lake end of the ground. Maybe someone can tweet in and correct us if we're wrong. Just a reminder that Twitter handle is Jamie Paul Lloyd, JamiePaulLLOYD. Hit us up.
Shemroy back for a second over, long on, long off, extra cover.
Still making a few fine adjustments to the field. Tariq on strike, he's on 3. And he's gone for a big one. Has he found the gap? Well, he's cleared the infield, so a gap doesn't matter. It's gone all the way for 6.
Beautifully picked up. And
Yeah.
Shemroy will learn quickly that flighting the ball won't work to these guys because they're all pretty good front foot hitters.
He's a little man, but he's got a bit of power. That was well timed.
Shemroy with this second delivery changes the length completely.
Yeah, no surprise. Shorter and flatter.
That's good fielding by Xavier Marshall.
Still able to squeeze it away for a single though. He moves on to 10, so he's in double figures. And this partnership starting to take shape now. Chowdhury on 14 is back on strike.
Interesting stance he has.
It's
Drifts
fine.
down the leg side. Chaudhry tries to pick it up over score leg. No connection there. Gets a wide anyway.
That's called wide, and I think I'm right in saying that that is in fact the first wide we have had today, which is pretty
Wow.
good from the Freedom side. I think there was a
Absolutely.
no ball earlier, but that is in fact the first wide. Because this one over pitched, and they'll get just the single down the ground.
So it seems like Shemroy's original plan is not exactly working, and he's trying a few little things. Pulling now round the wicket. Easy single. Drop to point. Shemroy won't be happy about that fielding there, Jamie.
No, but I wonder if the batsmen had cottoned on to the fact that one of the slower fielders was in that position at backward point.
Number
He's
5.
picked his man. Yep. Knew straight away that he was going to be able to get through for the run. This time there will be no single as he hits it straight to the man at mid-wicket.
Shemroy now with the last delivery of the over.
Again, he loses his run-up. So 82 for 4. Last
Rolling
over
down.
in the 12th. Last ball on the 12th, I should say.
Staying very, very full. That's brilliant piece of fielding by Shemroy. Runs himself to mid-on. Slides. Gets the ball back in. No run. Well, single. So after 12 overs, we are 83 for 4, or the Australians would say. 4 for 83. I never quite understood that, actually. What is up with them?
I don't know, that's one of many things that have me shaking my head about Australians. Although,
What?
don't get me started, at least they use the metric system.
That's right.
Unlike this country, Fahrenheit, honestly. Who came up with that?
Well, just so you know, it's about 75 to 80 Fahrenheit right now.
Yeah, thank you. I wouldn't have a clue.
What about those Ashes?
Yeah, boy. Should we mention the Ashes with any Australian friends listening, or perhaps the rugby from the weekend?
Probably the only time we won't get interrupted by them, so might as well.
Yeah, it's true. you're dead right there. They certainly like to talk. Nah, good friends, the Aussies. As a Kiwi, whenever I'm overseas, us Aussies and Kiwis tend to gather together. We've got each other's back.
So Shrujul coming back now for his third over. Switching ends. He has given 17 runs. I think the reason he's coming back possibly is because Sumit was getting drift. We're assuming.
Yeah, there's a nice little breeze here. assisting the spinners.
There you go.
Oh, bit of bounce.
It's a bit of bounce. The ball is gripping, it seems like.
Yeah, I was going to say earlier, Bilal, the one other time I was here for a match, I don't think they had pulled the matting tight enough. So the spinners were keeping very low, and we're not seeing that here tonight. It looks like they've done a really good job of laying the pitch.
Oh, gets it. Arm ball, I think.
Stumps all over the place, and Akeem Dodson, for some reason, has decided not to wear wicket-keeping pads today, and he has paid the price as that delivery has knocked over 2 stumps by the looks of it, and then also cannoned into his shins. So a wicket falls, and the wicket-keeper has a few bruises.
Chaudhry goes. And I think that's a big blow because he was a set guy here. And not having him now is, is going to open the team up for more wickets. There could be a bigger collapse here. Seems like that's Naveed Gul walking in. Let's confirm that. That is Naveed Gul.
Well, it's been the pattern of this innings, really. Just as the pack first guys have started to build a partnership that looks like it's going to start to take the game away from Freedom. Freedom have managed to sneak a wicket from somewhere.
But I'll tell you one more thing. The interesting thing about this team, pack first, is you watch them bat first. This always happens almost every time. And you feel like the bowling team is now in the game. And they end up with 120, 125, and next thing you know, the other team can't score runs off them when they're bowling, and the game is completely different. It becomes a low-scoring game from a very high-scoring game. So let's see if it's going to be similar today. But I certainly agree. Right now it seems like they're under severe pressure. If they lose 1 or 2 more wickets, they may just end up scoring less than 120.
Well, let's hope not, for the sake of the crowd. As this one very, very slow.
That was a bad ball.
He's lucky to get away with just a single.
It seemed like that was not an off break. It was almost like a leg break that just went wrong.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yep, I think you might be right. And I think it may be slightly stuck in the hand as well, because it came out.
He was shaking his head.
Yeah, that's about the speed of my medium paces.
3 balls gone, 84 for 5. Naveed Gul has gotten off the mark. Naveed Gul here will be the key, along with Zahib. Wow, that is well squeezed out. That was not short enough for that shot, but it seems like he gets on the back foot, has pretty good bat speed, and brings it down pretty quickly. Not the first time he's done that.
Well, he's not the tallest guy, but he gets down nice and low. He's got a very upright stance, but as the ball's delivered, he gets down into a nice crouch position. And
what a catch!
Oh
wow.
My word! Oh my word!
Was that Monarch? Who was that?
Boy, oh boy, someone send that to ESPN. That could be Plays of the Week this week.
Wow, that reminded me of that catch that Paul Collingwood took with Matty Hidden in 2005.
That one well. That has just let's have a look at the replay.
Wow.
Oh, we've just got the aftermath.
Brilliant.
But boy, that was right in the tip of the fingers.
Who was that? Who took the catch?
I don't know. He's taken off running.
Because next thing I want to know is if he's a righty or a lefty. But that was a left-handed catch.
True. Yeah.
Brilliant.
That was brilliant. Well, we've had it all. We have had it all. What a catch.
So Zahib goes. 1 more wicket.
There you go. Just as we were saying, if they lose a couple in succession, they're going to be in trouble. Took something special. As we will still try and pick up the name
that
of
might be Sumith.
the man who took the catch. Just wait for the score to update on Crick HQ. Just a reminder, you can follow all of the stats from the game.
Sumit.
So Sumit Kumar, so the man who's finished his bowling spell,
Brilliant catch.
has now taken a brilliant catch to go with his 2 wickets.
Seems like Sumit's having a great day. Shamroy back round the wicket to the new batsman, Naveed Gul. So with Naveed Gul, it's a case of, can he get behind the ball? He might end up wasting some deliveries because he's a striker. But if he does, he can take the momentum away from the bowling team. If I'm not mistaken, Shamroy is sledging Naveed Gul a little bit here. They are teammates on Sundays, so it'll be very interesting conversation happening in the middle of the pitch. Shamroy. It's nicely picked up by Naveed Gul to mid wicket. Runs back for the second.
The throw is a little bit wide. He got back comfortably in the end. So you'd have to say it was well run. But yeah, they'll have to almost look to do a little bit of a rebuild here. Of course, with only 6.5 overs left, you can't afford to take too long to get yourself settled, but 6 wickets down now. You can't afford to lose any others.
I think if they quietly go, and by quiet I mean just play to the merit of the ball, keep pushing it hard. There's a freebie there, down the leg side, goes to fine leg fielder, runs after it. They get 2 runs, and that's a wide too, so that's 3 runs for Pack first, and that is where Freedom needs to tighten up. They cannot be giving away runs like this. They have put a lot of pressure on Pack first. They need to maintain it, and Shamroy bowling at this moment can be a deciding factor. Naveed tries to flick that, misses it. Short fine comes, picks up the ball, returns it to the mid-wicket fielder.
So 89 for 6. And that was just the second lot of wides that have been bowled by
Naveed.
Freedom. So in general they've been pretty tight, as we see another dot ball.
Both wides coming in Shamroy's overs.
I believe you are correct. Certainly both from that end. So I think it's 1 delivery left in this, the 14th. Over pitched, and he's only going to concede the single.
If he slaps this one to mid-off, gets a single.
So 90 for 6 at the end of 14. Reminder that you are watching live on Strive the final of the Laurel Hill T20, the Niel Patel Memorial Cup. Pack first against Freedom, the 2 big gun teams that everyone was hoping would make the final. Earlier today, or earlier this evening, I should say, Pack first won the toss, elected to bat first, and they find themselves 90 for 6 against Freedom. 6 overs remaining in the first innings.
Seems like Shrujul is coming back for his 4th over. So far, he's given away 18 runs. Shamroy, on the other hand, has not bowled bad. 19 runs of 3 overs. Shrujul with the first delivery of his 4th. Ball short of length. Naveed Gul tries to place it. Hits it a little too hard. Goes straight to the fielder. No run. And I think this might start to frustrate some players on Pack first side.
Well, they need to start finding the fence.
Naveed tries to hit this one in the air. The fielder comes in, overcovers, and they come back for 2.
So it just seems like in the last 3 or 4 overs, I don't know if it's to do with the change in the light, but the batsmen just are not timing the ball as well as they were early on in the innings. Of course, this is always a difficult time to bat. The lights are starting to take effect. The sun is going down. But Freedom have clawed their way right back into this contest. Not that they were ever out of it.
It is quite interesting that from this end, now Shrujul is bowling from. It seems like the ball is turning. The batsman's finding it hard to hit it cleanly from the crease. Now this one is hit through covers. The batsman come back for the second. Easy 2. So yeah, coming back to what I was saying, it seems like there's a bit of change in strategy from the left armers. Earlier they were trying to hit good length, turning the ball. Now they're predominantly fuller and faster. And I think that is affecting the way the batsmen are now going after these deliveries.
Bowled him.
Oh, bowled him. That's one more wicket. Naveed Gul goes.
Well, that's a big breakthrough. 94 for 7 now.
Things not looking good for Pack first.
No,
Freedom
that's-
celebrating.
Yeah, they're struggling a bit here. And of course, with a few wickets falling in the last few overs, I think we forgot to mention that the skipper Adnan Khan is actually out in the middle. Still yet to face a ball, even though he's been out there for an over or so. And now striding out to join him. Looks like it's number 92, perhaps.
Rizwan Akram. Rizwan Akram now joining his captain.
So 94 for 7 with 5 overs remaining. That 150 that we were talking about earlier is now a very long way away. But it's a funny sport, this cricket. Anything could happen. They could still get to 150, 160. Just takes one batsman to have an absolute blinder. And certainly for the sake of the crowd and those of you watching this live stream at home, hope to see some more big hits from the blades of the pack first batsman.
So this, in fact, has been a very good spell from Shrujal so far. Last ball of his spell coming up, he's only given away 22 runs, has taken 3 wickets now. 3 out of the 7 that have fallen. Let's see how this ends. There will be, I'm assuming, no big shot to this ball.
You know, I'd like to see a breakdown of his figures because he did change ends for his second 2 overs, and I think I'm right in saying he's gotten at least 2 of those 3 wickets from this end, possibly even all 3.
It's a beautiful length. The ball's jumping up from that length, and it will be interesting to see what bowler now comes in.
He certainly found a sweet spot there. Looks like it's short of a length on about leg stump, and it's kicking off the surface and obviously turning and beating the bat out on the offside.
I actually played at this ground about 4 weeks ago, and this end has that variable bounce where it jumps more. Some days it jumps more than others. I think it depends on where they put the mat. That factor also comes in. So that particular day, there was a leg break bowler bowling right arm leg break from the end where Shrujal and Sumit have completed their spells. And it actually became quite tough because the ball was jumping up and it was much higher than this. It was almost shoulder height at the time it reached the batsman. And sometimes it kept low, so you couldn't just assume that you could cut every ball. Barrington with his last over. Easy single to short square leg or square leg.
So that was in fact the first delivery that Khan has faced, and he got off the mark straight away. Akram at the other end has faced just the one ball as well. He's yet to get off the mark, so both batsmen fresh to the crease, and they've really got a job on their hands here. At 96 for 7, 95 for 7 I should say.
So at this point, Pack first should really be telling themselves, okay, let's just play out the overs. We have 29 deliveries left. We scored 29 more runs, we become competitive. If we get lucky, we'll hit some boundaries and sixes along the way.
Looking to late cut one, which was far too full for that shot.
Since there's no third man or short third man, the shot was on, no connection. Shamroy really full, changes the length. And Shamroy also bowling quite fast, much faster than typical spinners do around here. Shamroy, of course, not a very tall man, so the way he bowls, he keeps his hand very high. That's why he's getting that dip. It's very good length, good line and length. Things working out for Freedom beautifully at this point in the game. Producing dot balls at this moment in the game is never easy. What must the batsman be thinking at this point?
Well, he's got to get off strike is the first thing. Tick that scoreboard over. Got to get bat on ball somewhere.
Nothing.
He got bat on ball, but he's hit it straight back to the bowler, which ends a very good over. Just the one run from it, and in fact ends a very good spell by Shamroy Barrington.
Wow.
4 overs, none for 20, so he didn't take a wicket, but he's only gone at 5 and over. And in the T20 match, anything under 6, even 6.5 is pretty good going. So to only concede 5 and over, he's done a very good job for his team there.
And that's a real big bonus for them. Producing a spell like that from not one of their main bowlers is going to give their main bowlers a lot of heart, and now they can come back and try and finish this inning off. From Freedom's point of view, I think anything under 120 they would think is very gettable with the kind of stars they have. I'm assuming someone like Monarch and Shamroy Barrington would open the inning, or well, Xavier Marshall is there too, so it might be Barrington and Xavier Marshall.
Well, if they get going, it looks like they'll probably be chasing something around the 120, 125. If they get going, we may be in for an early finish tonight.
Especially given the way Shamroy Barrington batted against Monroe Cavaliers this past Sunday.
Absolutely. So if my wife is listening, I may be home earlier than expected, darling, so please leave me some dinner. Thank you.
Well, Jesse is back at the top of his run-up now. It keeps getting longer.
It does. Look, I've got to say, if I had to bowl even half of one of his overs, I'd be exhausted.
Mm-hmm. And that too, if you get hit for a 6, like he did in the first spell, kind of ruins the day.
Whoa, that one's kicked off a length as well.
That's very well stopped by Dotson.
It's been called wide. I assume that was down the leg side.
Jesse has a very good in-swinger. If he can keep that channel, he has White long on waiting. So even if the batsman connects, I don't think they will be able to clear the boundaries since they're not set. Let's see what channel he bowls. He sticks to short of good length.
Just get a run backward a square there, just running it off the face. Well, look, there's no doubting that Jesse is a very talented player. He's a great bowler. He's got all the skills. As you say, he's got a very good in-swinger, but he's actually capable of moving it the other way as well when he's bowling well. I know we've mentioned it a number of times, but I just wonder if he could get a little bit more out of himself if he did shorten that run up 5 or 6 yards.
I gotta agree with you. I don't think that is required. There you go. Produces that beautiful delivery. Full, straight, probably swung in. Can't really confirm that. Gets the wicket.
Yeah, brilliant. And we saw him attempting that earlier on in the innings where he bowled a couple of really good Yorkers. Didn't get the result on that occasion, but this time bowling to a batsman who's batting a bit further down the order, so perhaps not quite got the skills of some of the players higher up. And he has beaten the bat. And timber. The stumps go flying. So well done to Jesse Singh. And another wicket for Freedom. The 8th for them. And Pack first slide further into the mire. They are now 97 for 8.
It is deliveries like that that have earned him the place in the US T20 side. Comes back, produces those fast Yorkers. Some swing in, some don't. Fine fielder. And from what I understand, he's also been working on his batting recently, and he's improved a lot.
I think one of the best things about Jesse is he always gives it 110%. Like you never You never think, oh, he could have tried a little bit harder there. He's always giving it 110. Doesn't always get it right, as we've said. Sometimes he can be a little bit expensive, but it's certainly not through lack of trying. So he deserves every success that he gets, and hopefully he plays many more games for the US team and leads them to many more victories.
Jesse runs in.
New batsman is Timur Haider.
A bit about Timur Haider. He's another interesting cricketer. He also captains this team quite a bit. He's not captaining today. Fine off spinner. Has a very good doosra without chucking.
Is that even possible?
Well, at least to the naked eye.
Right.
This one's hard to tell.
Right.
If he does chuck. I personally don't think he does.
Maybe we'll have to get our experts from Strive to give us a slow replay when he comes on to bowl later.
That actually would be quite interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
Perhaps we'll have a word in the ear of the umpire and we could create some controversy by getting a bowler officially reported.
You know, actually, speaking of his doosra, it's a little bit different from typical doosras, which are bowled by opening the wrist a little bit. His is more of a side spin, but it's almost like a seam up, which seams away more than turns away. Jesse runs in. Slower ball. The batsman completely miscues, mistimes. No run.
They probably should have got a single there, but well, I guess you can understand these guys being a little bit gun shy, being 8 wickets down already.
I think at this point they're just thinking survival. We got 2 wickets left. Let's play these 4 overs and see what we get, and we'll defend that. Instead of losing those 2 wickets to 2 balls, and Jesse is certainly running in. No reason to expose the non-striker either to Jesse. I think Jesse should be bowling Yorkers every single ball. He should finish this off. There's one attempted Yorker. That's a single.
Yeah, slightly over pitched. And they get the single to move the score to 99 at the end of 17 overs. So just 3 left. They should get in excess of 100. But you'd have to say, especially given all our earlier predictions and even the way that they were going along at one stage, pack first, that this total is going to be subpar by quite some way. And Freedom at this stage would certainly back themselves to chase down these runs and secure victory in the Laurel Hill T20 tournament for 2015.
Jamie, I just got a message from one of the people watching saying I need to speak louder. So my apologies. I had no idea. I was not loud enough. I will certainly try to sound more clear and loud so people can understand. I think one of the opening bowlers, Patel, is now coming back.
Well, it's good to get some feedback, even though it was slightly critical. We don't mind. We'll take any feedback. We just want to hear from you, the audience. It's all about you guys, the fans.
This message came from Anthony Kareem. So Patel, for his 3rd over, runs in. Short of length again. It's working, and the batsman gets a wide.
Well, he's got an interesting little habit, does Manat. He runs in about 2/3, maybe even 3/4 of his run-up with the ball in his left hand. And when he first started his very first over, I had never seen him bowl before. I thought he was going to bowl left arm around the wicket. And then at the last minute, you watch it here, he changes to the right hand and delivers the ball. Interesting little quirk. Can't say I've seen that one before. As he bowls another good tight one and another dot ball.
So Mona sticking to his short of good length, or a little bit fuller than short of good length in this case. Long on, deep long on, long off, covers, and I think there's deep mid wicket also. Pretty safe fielding positions from Freedom. Monarch runs in. Bowls a slower ball. Batsman cuts away or just tries to time it. Gets a single. First run of the over. Monarch has now bowled 3 deliveries.
First run off the bat, there was the wide, of course, which took the score to 100, and that single has taken it to 101.
So Jamie,
yes,
out 16, 15 deliveries left. We get one more single here. This was always going to be a single to that fielder, wasn't it?
I think so. So 103 for 8.
The ground looks beautiful now. Lights have taken full effect.
They have, and people are still coming in. I'd say there's probably a couple of hundred spectators here now.
I think so. Attempt at Yorker by Monarch. A bit of banter between the batsman and the bowler.
It's all good friendly stuff, I think, in the spirit of the game, which we like to see. No Australians out there, so we're all good.
Monarch runs in. Slower ball again, missed time, top edge, the ball going up, and Xavier takes a beautiful catch. What a gorgeous diving catch.
He made it harder than it probably needed to be, but he's done it very well in the end.
Yes, yes. I think maybe because of the breeze, the ball went away from him at the last second, so he had to adjust. Or maybe he just wanted to do a little Yuvraj thing.
Yeah.
Yuvraj thing had that habit too. He would make really easy catches look like he was diving for them.
I mean, in the end, he had to dive. He positioned himself wrong, as we see a replay there. Yeah, dive at the last minute.
Either way, brilliantly taken. 9 wickets down now.
You'd have to say overall the fielding's been very good from Freedom. They've taken some good catches. The only possible criticism, a couple of misfields on the boundary, and some of the throws coming in from the deep have been a little bit wild, but in the main we haven't seen any clangers, any absolute dollies go down, so they've done their job, and as such they have packed first 102 for 9, staring down the barrel of not even batting out their 20 overs, which is criminal.
I have just received a prediction from one of the watchers. Let's see this ball. Slower ball again, no run, straight to wide mid off, recovers, and that's over. 102 for 9. So the prediction that I've received, Jamie, is that going by the kind of form Shamroy Barrington and Xavier Marshall have been in, the game should be over in 7 overs.
Oh boy.
Because there's actually an interesting stat I should share with you. The game that happened this past Sunday where Shamroy Barrington went crazy, their team chased down 199 runs in 13 overs. So going by that, 7 overs doesn't sound too bad, does it?
No, that's about right on the money.
And that is when Xavier Marshall didn't really click. Only Shamroy did.
And a few years ago, I actually watched an American college cricket match where York University were playing it, and at that stage, Akeem Dodson was in the York University team, and they were chasing 120 odd for victory, and they chased it down in 5-point-something overs, with Akeem Dodson getting the majority of those runs.
Wow.
So,
and we keep forgetting that Dodson's there too.
yeah.
Jesse runs in for his last over, steaming in fact.
Oh, swing and a miss. He almost ended the innings right there. Gosh, if I were these two batsmen out there, surely I'd just be looking to
just nudge the ball here and there and
Yeah,
get singles.
exactly.
I mean, there's nobody in the circle, literally. Everybody hanging back at the circle.
just get 7 or 8 extra runs, get the score to 110, and
Exactly.
hope your bowlers can pull out a miracle. Trying to be the hero, though. We've all been there.
Jesse runs in, steaming in. Oh, gets it. Beautiful change-up delivery. I think he cut that away from the lefty. Takes the off stump, I'm assuming. Can't tell from here. But that's very, very good bowling from Freedom.
So 102 all out, and Freedom will require 103 for victory as we watch a replay of the last wicket here. And in fact, it's taken leg stump and middle stump.
Wow.
So 2 stumps out of the ground. So fantastic effort from Jesse Singh, and he's ended up with 3 wickets, 3 for 24. So that's a very good comeback considering he had, I think it was none for 21 after 2. So 102 all out. I will give you the figures as they stand from the top. Of course, Pack First winning the toss, electing to bat first. And I have just momentarily lost the score, so I will have to give you that at the beginning of the second innings. But for now, the well, it's 103 for victory. Freedom require to beat Pack First in this, the Laurel Hill T20 Grand Final for 2015, the Niel Patel Memorial Cup, coming to you live on Strive. And we will be back in about 10 minutes time for the chase. In the meantime, we will leave you with a few images from the Laurel Hill Park ground. Welcome back, folks. Just to let you know that we are in the innings break of the Laurel Hill T20 2015 final. This tournament, of course, in memoriam of Niel Patel, the Niel Patel Memorial Cup. So welcome back live to the ground. We're just about set to get underway for the second innings. Freedom requiring 103 to beat Pack first. And just very quickly, I'll run through the scorecard from the first innings. Pack first batting first after winning the toss. Asad Munawa, he was out for 34 of 22 deliveries. Umar Farouk was out for 4 of 2 deliveries. Nushawana Dil 13 off 12, Abdullah Sayed 1 off 5, Jahan Zeb Chowdhury 16 off 25, Zahid Tariq 11 off 12, Naveed Gul 8 off 12, Adnan Khan 4 off 8, Rizwan Akram didn't trouble the scorers, 7 deliveries, Zafar Khan also out for a duck, just 2 deliveries, and Timur Haider was left stranded, 1 not out off 4 deliveries. There were 10 extras, 6 wides, 1 no ball and 3 leg byes. It all added up to 102 all out off 18.2 overs. And I'll have to bring the bowling figures to you throughout the first over, because we are just about ready to go in the second innings. And opening the batting for Freedom, 2 superstars. We've got Xavier Marshall, ex-West Indies player, on strike, and at the non-strikers end, Shimroy Barrington, who's been in sensational form in club cricket of late.
Seems like Zafar is going to be opening the bowling.
Yes, Zafar Khan from the lake end of the ground, I believe we're calling it. First delivery.
So Zafar swings the ball into the righties and sometimes cuts them away. Xavier Marshall is on strike. I just had good conversations with Xavier Marshall and Shimroy Barrington, and so I asked Barrington, I said, so 7 overs? He said, well, it's the final, so gotta respect a little bit, so 12. So he thinks the game will be over in 12. Zafar with the second delivery. Forward. Good pace. Xavier Marshall, no helmet on. Spoke to Xavier Marshall. He gave me more of a mature response. And he said, well, you got to look at it this way. 120 balls. We're chasing less than 6 and over. They will give us some wides, so we're essentially chasing about 90 odd runs to win. So we got nothing to worry about. Third delivery. Pitches it up. Zephyr fields it.
Well, it's 3 deliveries already, and they're yet to score a run, so who knows? Pack first, if they bowl well, bowl tight, take their catches, anything could happen.
I also went to the Pack First camp and had conversations with them, and they certainly looked a little bit down and out, and they said that, you know, look, it really depends on the start. Zephyr runs in, gets another dot ball. So look, really depends on the start. If we can get 2 or 3 guys out because they have some superstars opening, then, you know, you never know. They also said that the last time they played against these guys, they won the game, but in that game, Pack First scored 190 runs. This is about 90 less.
Yeah, it certainly makes it difficult to defend a subpar total. But they've started well here. That's 5 dot balls in a row from the bowling Khan. At the conclusion of this over, I'll quickly run through the bowling figures for Freedom from the first innings. Some pretty good figures as well.
Zephyr runs in. That's go to length again. Flicks it to short fine or square leg and gets a single. So
just the 1 off the first over, 1 without loss, and I will fly through these bowling figures. So Jesse Singh, 3.2 overs, he ended up with 3 for 24 after he took 2 wickets in the final over of the innings. Manank Patel, his opening partner, 2 for 14 off 3. Sumit Kumar, 4 overs, 2 for 19. Shrujal Patel, 4 overs, 3 for 22. And the only bowler not to take a wicket, but he still bowled very well, was Shemroy Barrington, 4 overs, none for 20. So all of the bowlers doing a good job for Freedom. And now it's the turn of the batsmen to see if they can chase down 102 further runs off 19 remaining overs. Of course, Pack First will be doing everything within their power to defend those 102 runs. And it looks like we will have perhaps spin from the far end.
I'm not surprised, but the question is who is opening the bowling if it's a spinner, and why are they not choosing the other end? Actually, it's not a spinner. It seems like it's maybe a seamer, possibly.
Just trying to pick up
Might be Rizwan.
the
Let's
number
see
on
if-
the back of the shirt. It looks like it's number 2, who is Asad Munawar. So the vice captain, sorry, not the vice captain. He was in fact the opening batsman. Batted well too for his 30 odd. Right arm over the wicket, and a good start by him. Short of a length on the off stump. Defended by Marshall off the back foot. So Barrington yet to face a delivery, with Marshall getting a single off the last delivery of the over. Scorecard currently saying 5 without loss, but I'm pretty sure it's just the 1. Swing and a miss this time. A little bit of heat on that delivery.
Again, a good start to the over. Asad now runs in for the third delivery to Xavier Marshall. That's good length. Oh, it's a wide. First wide.
Called it a wide. So I'll take this opportunity just to say thanks to a couple of our sponsors. Of course, Crick Max indoor facility, fantastic facility. Make sure Well, if you're anywhere in the tri-state area, you should get there and experience their indoor lanes. Amazing stuff. There's again a good tight delivery, but a well taken single. That will move the score on to 3.
And that brings on strike Mr. Shamroy Barrington.
Well, let's see if he can continue his form from the weekend. And we also want to say thank you to Bat and Ball Cricket for all of your cricket equipment needs. Make sure you check out Bat and Ball Cricket. And we'd be remiss if we didn't say thanks to Strive for bringing us this live stream. Strive Live, doing a fantastic job. The gentleman to our right, especially considering they're probably not native cricket fans, shall we say, just learning the sport, doing a sensational job.
That's it now. Both Shamroy and Xavier in white pads. Sort of underlines the fact that these players play for a lot of different teams during the week. Safest option is to stick with white pads, especially if they happen to be their favorite pads. Third ball of the over. That's nicely blocked. Xavier Marshall decides that was not a run for him.
Yeah, although white pads makes it very difficult for the umpires, and it's probably not great for the bowlers, to be fair. If they hit the batsman on the pad and go up for an LBW shot, it would be a very brave umpire to give it out, because how on earth do you know with white ball on white pads where it's actually struck him?
Oh, Shamroy hits this one in the air. This could be out. Oh, good try by the fielder. Dives, but no catch. Shamroy gets off the mark with 2 runs. And that was his first ball.
Bit of a streaky
No,
way
second
to
ball,
get
actually.
underway for Barrington. And probably had a little bit of a nervous flutter as he realised he'd mishit that one. Got through the shot far too early. I don't know if it was a slower delivery by Munawar.
That could also be the difference in the pitches that he played on over the weekend versus this one. Probably needs to spend a bit of time since he can afford to. Pitched up, beautifully driven through wide mid-off. The long off-fielder comes in. So during the break, I also went over to the Pac First camp and had conversations with them, and they kept emphasizing on this fact that look, Freedom has a lot of top-class players playing today. They have played first-class cricket, they've played domestic cricket, some of them have played international cricket. They said all the guys on our team have never even played first-class cricket. These are guys that travel together as a team. They go to all different parts and they've started winning, and they stick to that combination. They don't like to bring in players from outside, and they would like to win the game with the players they have, and they take a lot of pride in it.
Well, that's brilliant. To be fair, I wish a lot more clubs and teams would do exactly that. I think one of the greatest things about the sport of cricket is when you can find a team or a club that you love and you stick with it for a number of years, and there's a culture amongst the team and amongst the guys, and you develop some history together. I think it's fantastic. So, you know, big ups to the Pac First guys. I hope they continue playing together for many years.
And they also believe that is the reason why, even in games where a lot of teams would decide this is over, they still believe in it, because to them this is it. There is no other option but to try and win with the same guys. So this might become an interesting contest if they can take out 1 or 2 of these top 3 or 4 guys from Freedom. Batting lineup for Freedom is, of course, Xavier, Shamroy. Zuffer runs in. Gets the ball. Barrington gets the ball through mid-wicket, gets a single. And following Shamroy and Xavier will be Monarch, and then Hakeem Dotson. That is a lineup that Amin Jasani has shared with me.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much a gun lineup, but like you say, if they can get through those top 4, who knows what could happen, as this one is struck well down the ground. He's timed that very nicely.
Xavier
But
Marshall.
just the single.
Xavier Marshall showing his really good bat speed to a ball that was pitched middle leg from Zuffer, assuming it was swinging in. Also had a chat with Jesse and asked him why he did not prefer bowling follow deliveries every ball in the last over, and he said that one, he thought he would become predictable, and second, let's wait for this delivery to complete. Pitched up, full delivery, gets a single, long off, runs in, returns the ball. And he said that by accident, somebody turned on the sprinklers around the area where his run-up starts and where he lands, I think. So he had to be a little bit careful. So in the end, he was just running in but not steaming in, so he was getting to the crease and then using his hand. And the reason the last ball looked like a change-up ball was because he was trying to generate pace from his shoulder. It's a short ball, lucky there. Xavier misses out. And hence it seemed like a change-up delivery. He was trying to wind up his shoulder to produce pace. And he also said that he really cannot be making any excuses, because the level he's playing at, he's expected to perform and run in hard, regardless of whether there's a water run is run up or not. Except for now, running in.
Continuing to bowl well here, these opening batsmen. Again, good full delivery. Managed to get it down the ground for a single. Score moves on to 10. But they're certainly keeping the batsmen quiet at this stage. No boundaries as yet in the freedom innings. Of course, they've got the luxury of chasing a pretty low score here, so there's no run rate pressure on them at this stage. But I'm sure both of these batsmen like to play with a certain level of freedom, so they will get a little bit itchy if the boundaries don't come soon. This time it's over pitched, and they should get a couple. No, the man
It's bullet throw.
Yeah, that's a good arm from the deep. The man at long off got around quickly and rifled in a throw to the bowler's end, so kept the scoring to 1, which means at the end of 3 overs, 11 without loss is the score. Barrington moves on to 6. Xavier Marshall is on 4. There is 1 extra, which of course was the wide in the first over.
One more detail that I would like to mention here is typically a lot of leagues in New Jersey, and I'm sure it's true about leagues in New York, also have qualification criterias for each player. So if you're playing a tournament, in order for you to be eligible to play in playoffs, you have to play a certain number of games. And there was quite a bit of discontent actually on both sides, because they couldn't field their best 11s in certain ways because of the rules, because certain players did not qualify. In fact, Freedom are actually playing with 10, 11 guys just fielding. Short of length from Asad.
Swing and a
Barrington
miss.
misses out. Well, that is part and parcel of playing in leagues in New Jersey and New York, where organizers like to make sure that players playing, in fact, are part of the team, and you're not bringing in players just to win qualification or playoff games or finals.
Well, that's good of those rules, otherwise it would just be wild, wild west free-for-all. So it's important that leagues have structure, and of course this part of the country, New Jersey, New York, some of the bigger and stronger leagues in the country. It's again looking to drive with some power, but he only gets the inside half of the bat. Straight to the man at mid-wicket, no run.
But I'll tell you, you got to give a lot of credit to these two bowlers. Bowling to very, very fine hitters of the ball. They have How long will it take for Xavier Marshall and Shemroy to decide enough is enough? We will take a little bit more risk and go over the top. Slower ball.
It's well bowled. Wasn't expecting it. Swing and a miss. So I think that's 4 dot balls this over. So a very good one from Munua. He's more than just an opening batsman. And we've had our first tweet come in, which I will mention after this delivery. Very exciting stuff. This modern technology, isn't it wonderful?
As it runs in to Barrington. Nice length again. Barrington gets a single. Xavier on strike. So Assad is bowling with mid-off, long on, deep mid-wicket, and everybody else is hanging back at the circle except for mid-wicket. That's there to save single. There's short fine leg, backward point.
So Chinmay Bhatt has tweeted, he says, loving the commentary by Jamie Paul Lloyd and Bilal. So thank you. Appreciate it. We've got one fan. Chinmay, if you can tweet me some way to get hold of you, perhaps a email or something like that.
Yes, we would love to be friends with you.
Yes, and I might even be able to send you a prize pack. See?
There you go.
It pays to be nice on Twitter.
That is a very, very good over.
It's a fantastic over. Just the 1 run from it, which means at the end of 4 overs now, 12 without loss. So Freedom
Going at
struggling, yeah. Struggling a little bit to tick the scoreboard over, but of course they've still got 10 wickets in hand and 16 further overs of which to score 91 further runs. That was a bit of a stretch for my brain working that out on the spot, but I got there. 91 further runs in 16 overs. So you'd have to say that Freedom's still odds-on favourites here. I'd say it's about 85 to 15 at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I think they're just playing a waiting game, and from their point of view, as long as they don't lose too many wickets, they believe they should be in good shape, chasing these runs down. Though, Amin Jasani, who seemed like he was speaking on behalf of the strategy makers of the team, said that we shouldn't really take more than 15 overs at most to chase these runs down. There's no reason to put pressure on ourselves. But then Zafar runs in for his 3rd over. This is very, very good bowling. Bowling to the field. There is, and just so everybody knows that's watching this, there is no long on. There is no mid wicket. Now Zafar is bowling in swingers, or he typically bowls in swingers to the righties. He might be bowling some change-ups that are going across the righty. But this is a very, very brave field positions for somebody swinging into a right-handed batsman. There you go. He airs in length, and Shemroy actually just pulled it. The ball stopped. They've taken 1 run. They're coming back for the 2nd, and this is where Shemroy will realize that his shots won't really get the value on this ground that they were getting over the weekend, and he will have to run much harder and work much harder on this inning than he had to earlier in the week or this past weekend.
I'd have to say that that's probably the first loose delivery of the innings so far, and that has been smashed to the boundary, this time just over pitching, and he's met it with the full face of the bat, He's found one of those gaps that you were just talking about, Bilal, at long on. Once you clear the field, as long as you got enough weight on it, it's always going to be fought. The grass was unable to hold that one up. So finally, we get a boundary in the second innings. That's the first.
I mean, you got to say that's a rookie mistake on Zafar's part. You know, he aired in length, bowled it a little bit short. Next one, Shamroy knew was going to be pitched up, and it was. And got a boundary out of it, and forced the field chase. Now, this delivery is what he should have bowled before this delivery. And that is where, you know, there's some learning that needs to be done on the bowler's part. And just understand now, Shamroy has basically forced a field change, which he could have avoided and put more pressure. But now Shamroy has a single always available on the leg side the moment the ball swings into him. There's literally nobody between mid-on and backward square leg, I guess.
Yeah, they're certainly backing their bowler to keep it outside the off stump. Oh, and he, just as I say that, he drifts into the pads. Didn't get bat on it, and it's signalled leg by.
Something tells me that this will be Zafar's last over for this spell. Seems like he's losing a bit of focus. Still bowling well. But I think it's time for Pack First to get some wickets here.
Yeah, well, they need them. Of course, 19 without loss, one ball to come in the fifth over. They're still well on top, but just got this little thought in the back of my mind. What will happen when the spinners come on?
I agree with you. Actually, that will decide which way the game is going to tilt. And I think that is where the strategy Xavier, Marshall, and Shamroy have can backfire. That's a beautiful shot by Xavier Marshall, straight to long off. The throw comes in, just a single.
Boy, that whole bit of action took less than 2 seconds. He's absolutely nailed it down the ground. Got to the fielder so fast, and the fielder did a really good job. He's picked it clean and rocketed the throw in. The single was completed. The ball was back in the bowler's hands just about before you could blink.
Yes.
Good piece of cricket all round, really. And it concludes the fifth over. They are going at 4s, 20 without loss after 5. Barrington is 13 not out of 15 deliveries. He's hit the 1 boundary so far in the innings. Xavier Marshall 5 of 15. Going at a pedestrian strike rate of 33.33. Not his usual way of going about things, but of course, as we've mentioned numerous times, they're certainly under no scoreboard pressure at this stage.
Is that us at when now we're continuing?
It would appear to be. Both opening bowlers doing a good job, so why wouldn't you continue?
Asad runs in for his delivery. Xavier slaps that past the mid-off fielder. Long on runs in. 2 runs.
That's very good running.
That earns the batsman applause from their team.
So 22 without loss now. 81 further runs. This time straight to mid-wicket. No run.
In some ways, you feel this over will decide what will happen next, if Zafar will continue or not. 6 overs to batsmen like these two. They should be able to hit 1 or 2 sixes very soon, or boundaries. That's a brilliant piece of fielding.
Good piece of fielding. I think Marshall would have always been home, but still fantastic effort for the fielder to pick the ball up on the fly there. Let's have a look at the replay. Yeah, it's bobbling around in the field, and he's picked it up clean and just kind of backhand flicked it. Brilliant bit of work. Of course, he missed the stumps anyway, so couldn't be out, but still looked very spectacular.
Absolutely. Well, that sends a message though to the batsman that, you know what, don't be slow. Oh, that was a fast delivery, but picked up beautifully by Shamroy. gorgeous flick. These are long boundaries. Very good fielding there. Down at the fine leg boundary. The throw comes in, and Shamroy earns 3 runs for it.
He makes those shots look easy. It's hard to tell the exact line, but it looked like it was fairly straight. And he's just whipped it away. Powerful wrists, good timing. Right off his toes.
Shamroy is 13 or 15.
Slow delivery.
Ball up in the air. Who's going to take it? Can they take it? It's a huge wicket, and they get it. Marshall goes.
This could be a big moment in the game. Pack First certainly recognise that that's a big breakthrough.
And the move of keeping Asadon has paid off.
That was a good catch. I must admit, when that first went up in the air, my money was on the ball. But the man...
Is that me, or Shamroy is actually standing right next to the huddle of Pack First?
I believe he is. In fact, he's having a word to some of the players there. I'm sure it's all just friendly stuff. Like you said earlier, some of these guys play on the same team, same club team. But yeah, well taken catch, very well judged in the air. It went very high, and he managed to get under it and took it clean as a whistle. So big breakthrough. The superstar, or one of a few superstars in this Freedom side, Xavier Marshall, ex-West Indies player, has been dismissed relatively early. So 26 for 1 now, Freedom. Still 70 odd runs required for victory. And Pack First perhaps have just opened the door. Perhaps they still give themselves a little bit of a chance here. They can take a couple more wickets. So the new batsman, Patel, as expected. But he will be at the non-strikers end. Of course, the batsman crossed while that shot was in the air.
Shamroy Barrington on strike. Who would not shy away from hitting the ball in the air if it's in his area? And this, I think, is the moment where Pack First can capture a lot of momentum. Blocks it. That's an easy single because there's a misfield at point.
First blemish in the field, you'd have to say, from Pack First.
Zuffer right there. That, I think, is also the guy that dove and flicked the ball back to the stumps. This time it didn't work.
And that ends the over. Successful one for Pack First. Freedom 27 for 1 after 6. Munawa, the successful bowler, he is 1 for 13 off his 3. Have to wait and see if Khan will continue. He has none for 13 off his 3.
So Freedom falling behind the required run rate for now. So 76 more runs required at 5.43 per over. And Pack First will be working to turn this into about 7 or 8 and over. If they can manage to do that, we have a game in our hands here.
And we have our first bowling change. Man with number 10 on his back, Adil Nushawan, coming in for his first over. So it's going to be tough for all of these bowlers coming in. They really have to be right on the money from ball number 1. So at the start of the 7th over, we're actually going to welcome a special guest into the commentary box. We have with us Dermish Desai. And Dermish, I believe you've done some commentary back in your home country of India.
Thank you guys, welcome. Appreciated giving me opportunity here. Yes, I had done some commentary in Ranji Trophy in 90s when Gavaskar and all those people were playing in Valsad and Navsari and Surat in those areas. But recently, I mean, I heard you guys are doing this, and you know, the organizer who asked me if I can give few words, and that's the reason I'm here, guys. Thank you for giving me opportunity.
No problem. So it seems like Adil has started off well here. He's bowled the second ball of his spell.
As far as I know, this is a tremendous atmosphere here in this ground in Laurel, Chicago, New Jersey. This is one of the best tournament I have ever watched at the night time.
Pitched up by Adil. Misfield that covers. Monarch gets a single.
Some super performance by both team. I think they are one of the toppers, and some good cricketers here on this ground. I'm delighted to watch these games.
Well, it's fantastic to have you here with us, and perhaps you could tell us about some of the best players that you had the pleasure of commentating back in India.
Nicely flicked by Barrington. They're going to go for a 2. Zafar tries to get the throw in time, but in vain. They get 2. Freedom now move on to 29 for the loss of 1 wicket.
I had a pleasure to give commentary for Sunny Gavaskar and Suman Gaikwad in 90s, then Dilip Venkshekar, Kirsan Gavri, and all those good cricketers for India.
There's a good tight delivery here. And we just seem to have lost the live score for the moment, but we're certainly most of the way through the 7th over. The score is, we think it's 29 for 1. We will just have to double check that as soon as we get the live score back up.
Adil now pushes long on back. Full toss. Oh, Barrington flicks that over square leg for a big 6.
That's a superb shot. The full toss and took a tremendous advantage of that full toss and flicked the way down to the square leg fence for 6. As far as the non-striker and batsman, I know him very well. Monarch Patel, one of the good cricketer. I had an opportunity to took the team from here to Florida, Florida Fort Lauderdale, and he played for my team. And he hit some superb 6s to Sabir Ahmed, Pakistan cricketer, the Test cricketer. And he's a tremendous cricketer. I know him very well.
I actually had the experience of playing against him a few weeks ago, and his front foot balance looks top class. He doesn't look to slog. It appears as if he's brought up on slow and low wickets, which is why his front foot defense and his front foot balance looks very, very good. Typically of an Indian cricketer that's brought up on those pitches. A very good player. He also has a very good pull shot.
As far as I know, when India became world champ under 19, Smith Patel, he used to play with Smith Patel in Gujarat. And Smith Patel is a personal friend. And, his batting is superb. He's very young, talented cricketer.
It's fantastic. I mean, for the standard of cricket in this country, to see these players from all over the world starting to, appear in leagues and tournaments all over the country. We've got ex-international players either at a senior level or a age group level from Pakistan, from India, from Sri Lanka, from the West Indies, of course, who have now taken up residence in the USA, and it can only help but increase the overall standard of cricket in this country.
One knock on strike to Taimur. Cuts that.
Straight to the point.
Given the way the game has gone, I think Pack first are missing a trick here by having Taimur bowl from the end where he's bowling from. With that variable bounce, he can be much more dangerous.
It's been a misfield by the fielder at the point.
Single.
Took one, looking for
That's
second.
good recovery by the fielder.
Very good recovery. I agree with you. I think we saw in the first innings that the spinners were far more dangerous from the other end, from the lake end.
From the lake end, yes.
The lake end. So yeah, you might be right. I think Pack first perhaps need to rethink which bowlers bowl from which end. But of course, I mean, when you're defending a score like this, you're really on a hiding to nothing. And it's almost like anything you decide to do is a bit of a gamble. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But there's one thing for sure. They need wickets, and they need wickets in a hurry.
Yes.
Where they're going to get them from, who knows?
Otherwise, this game is slipping away.
Yeah.
Taimur now pulls out of his bowling action. I think he lost the grip on the ball. Now let's keep a very close eye on the doosra that he bowls or attempts to bowl and see if he can analyze. That seemed like an off break.
A few misfields starting to slip into the Pack first performance of late. Perhaps heads are just starting to dip a little bit. They were certainly excited when they got the wicket of Xavier Marshall, but another partnership starting to take shape here, and as we've said, the game could very quickly slip away from them.
Flighted. Threw him it on, gets a single. Puts Shamroy back on strike.
I'm surprised to see the score of 102 chase. Compared to the team, they both are superb teams. But the score for 20 overs is 102 is quite a bit of low chase.
I feel the decision that Freedom made. Oh, that's a big six from Shamroy. Bowling short to Shamroy is never gonna work, especially in the kind of form he's been in over the last week or so.
That's a superb six.
Clean strike.
That's his second six now, and he moves to 33, and he's only a couple of runs away from being the highest scorer in the game already.
And you can clearly see that there's a lot more to Shamroy than just hitting. He has sort of constructed this inning, respected the fact that this is a final. Gets another short ball outside off stump, didn't get the room to cut it, so puts it down. Navidko fields, gets it back into the mid outfielder.
So the score is 47 per 1 after 8 or 7.5 overs, I think.
In fact, I think that is 8 overs now. Our live score is just one delivery behind us at the moment.
Thank you for update.
No worries.
Sorry about that. It's a superb atmosphere here. The wind is blowing a little bit from the north side to the south side, and very bright, beautiful, low humidity, and excellent atmosphere here in New Jersey, Secaucus ground. I'm very delighted to give a commentary from this ground. It's super.
It's great having you with us.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Feelings are mutual. And
Yeah, for those of you who haven't managed to get out to this ground, it really is a fantastic facility. I mean, given the quality of some of the other grounds around the New York area, shall we say, which, to be honest, we probably wouldn't even play rugby on back in New Zealand, and yet they try and play cricket on them.
As far as I know, in New Jersey, this is one of the best ground for the night cricket, especially for the night cricket.
Well, I think this is one of the only grounds in New
Yes,
Jersey that has
correct.
lights.
I agree.
There's another very nice looking ground, perhaps nicer looking than this, called John A. Phillips, located in Old Bridge, New Jersey.
I have seen that.
However, the issue with that ground is, one, it doesn't have lights yet, and two, the pitch is actually AstroTurf. And recently, the team that was heavily involved in getting that ground built thinks that the pitch has now become a little bit dangerous for batsmen because it bounces too much and fast, and it's uneven too. So not a lot of competitive cricket is being played on that ground.
As far as I know, that's the AstroTurf, right?
Correct.
The wicket is.
Correct.
So
Yeah, the tough thing with AstroTurf is you've got to get the base correct, and obviously the easiest thing is to whack down a concrete base. As we see the start of a new over, dot ball.
good ball, middle and off, pushing down to the mid on.
Because
So-
of course concrete, it's easy to maintain. Basically once it's down, it's there for life, it's never going to get damaged. But the issue is exactly what you're saying, is that the bounce,
Mhm.
particularly of the quick bowlers, can get very dangerous.
Yes.
Short up line outside the off stump, pushing down to the cover region. No run.
Now this is Asad Manowar changing ends, which is interesting. However, I mean, it might work. This is his last over.
Yeah, he's been their best bowler to date, so a bit of a gamble here.
That's well played by Monarch on the front foot. And they're going to try and steal two, and they will. Beautiful running. Very, very fast, these two between the wickets.
Also drive down to long off and took 2 runs.
So 49 for 1 after 8.3. So they're almost halfway there. So well ahead of the required rate, and of course 9 further wickets in hand. So well on top here, Freedom. This time short of a length, and that's good batting.
Monarch
He's
taps
just-
it down, steals a single.
Yeah, just dinks it into the offside. Both batsmen knew exactly what the other was thinking. They probably didn't even have to use a verbal call. They just both took off, completed a well-run single.
Freedom require 103 to win this tournament. Right now, 8.4 overs, and score is 49 per 1.
And these two have picked up the run rate too. They've brought it up to 5.75, which has brought the required run rate down to 4.7 per over.
After those 2 huge sixers, the run rate went up, and those both were on the square leg boundary for 6.
Short of length. Oh, Shamrock goes. What a good catch. Timely wicket for Pack first.
So that's the end of the innings.
Well,
For Barrington.
they needed that wicket. They really did. And to be fair, they probably need another 4 or 5 in quick succession.
He
But
was
that's a good
trying-
catch.
He was trying to drive over the mid-off area and kept it a little lower, and then fielder was right there, picked a very easy catch.
Couldn't quite hit it cleanly. If he had done that, would have been too fast for the fielder to get the hands up.
I think the ball was a little bit slower than he thought, I think. And that's the
I think so.
reason the ball came straight down to the fielder.
So
At the end of the day, he was forcing a shot, and it just didn't quite work out.
Correct.
yeah, so looking to force the run rate. Probably didn't need to, and it's a shame because it ends what was a pretty good innings from Shemroy Barrington. He goes with his score on 33, 25 deliveries for that 33, so the strike rate hovering around the 130, 135 mark. 1-4, and of course those 2 mammoth sixes. That will bring to the crease, I'm sure, in fact it's not Akeem Dodson. Someone else. We'll have to see who that is once we can pick the number on the back of their shirt.
It's changing batting order. That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I think it seems like a little bit under pressure since loss of Brandon's wicket.
Maybe they feel that since they have decent run rate now, they don't need a striker to come in, but somebody who would build, take it close, and then in case he gets out, then Dotson can come in and finish the game off.
And as far as I know, Monarch Patel can hit some huge sixes. I know that he can drive the ball around the ground, around the park. He can throw the, shots around.
I think
the
Monarch
park.
is just taking his time right now.
So right now he's cool, patient, try to move forward the game with the singles and two, seems like to me.
So it is, in fact, Shrujal Patel. Of course, the man who took 3 wickets with the ball, with his left arm orthodox. He's coming to face the music with the bat now. And I guess you have to say that the gamble of giving Munawar his last over here has paid off with him taking his 2nd wicket. He delivers a wide there to give Freedom one more bonus run, so I'll be a little bit disappointed with that. And this will be, as he bowls another wide, the last ball of his spell. Slower delivery, big appeal for LBW. Shake of the head by the umpire.
Seems like he's getting some movement into the lefty.
And that ends his spell, so a good spell of bowling, 2 for 17 off his 4 overs. But unfortunately, he cannot bowl anymore. He has been by far the best, or the pick of the bowlers so far for Pac first, so they're going to have to get a few of their other bowlers to really step up here if they are to have any chance at all in this match. 51 for 2 after 9. Freedom, of course, they only require 103 total to win this match, so just the 52 further runs off 11 overs. With 8 wickets in hand, it would seem like an absolute canter at this stage, but for anyone who has watched any amount of cricket, you will know that
Until the last
anything
ball has
can
been
happen.
bowled.
Exactly.
So let me ask you a question. 2020 cricket, every bowler bowls about 4 overs. Do you guys think, especially considering how the game has tilted in the favor of batsmen these days, with the pitches, the bats, would it make sense to allow one bowler to bowl more overs than others?
At least one bowler.
At least one. So one could bowl 6 maybe. Just one.
It would make sense from a leveling the playing field between bowler and batsman. My only issue with it, and this is an issue across the board as we watch the first ball of a new over, and that's a lovely shot, backward a point. Unfortunately, the long grass is going to prevent him from getting full value, but he scampers back for a couple well taken runs. Anyway, my point is that cricket is one of the few sports in the world that is continually tinkering with the rules. Now, it's hard enough for people who aren't following the game 24/7 to keep up with it, let alone if the governing body, the ICC or the MCC, whoever, I think it's the MCC who are responsible for the rules. If we're constantly changing the rules to try and make it better or tweak or whatever, it just gets so confusing.
True.
And I must admit, I feel sorry sometimes for the umpires who every year have to get a new set of rules. They have to look up, okay, what's changed this year?
Now we have the new no ball rules
Exactly.
where everything's a free hit. See, that's true. I think, in my opinion, it could be because the game is not settled enough yet. I mean, if you look at Test cricket, right? Test cricket has been happening for a very long time. That's probably the most stable of all cricketing formats. But one day is relatively new. It's not that it's been there for hundreds of years. It's still relatively new. That wasn't completely settled yet, and then along came T20s. Now you have a brand new beast that you're dealing with, and it really is a beast because of the sort of support it gets from the crowds, that when you tinker with it, you have to be very, very careful. So I think the evolution of cricket and the limited life that it's had, or each format has had, something to do with it also.
Yeah, I think you're right. And maybe it's just me. I'm a bit of an old-fashioned guy. I don't like tinkering. But you're right. T20 is new. And I think that the thing that's had the most effect on it, well, one, the rules, but also as we watch another delivery here, this time a dot ball, playing a miss, trying to be cute where he doesn't need to be. They've made the boundaries smaller, so that goes in the favour of the batsman. Technology has made bats lighter and bigger. And he's been given here. We've finally seen an LBW given in this game. To be fair, there haven't been that many appeals, but there's one that's been given out, and we have a third wicket.
This went in Bob's favour this time.
Taimur is the guy they're really depending on to get these wickets in the middle overs. Now he's taken the first one. Let's see if that turns into more wickets. But I gotta say, I'm a little confused as to why Dotson did not come out to bat.
So 56 for 3, score after 10th over.
Yeah, 10 overs gone. Well, it looks like Dodson's coming out to bat now. Looks like his wiry frame. Coming out with, I believe he uses a Spider bat these days. Local bat manufacturer. But yeah, going back to what we were saying, I think you're right. The T20 format is new, and everything around technology, about the way they have been adjusting the ground size, has favoured the batsman. And there's a reason they do that, because it is such a spectator sport. And in general, cricket watchers or the cricket watching public like high scoring games. They want to see sixes, they want to see boundaries, they want to see Chris Gayle smacking it out of the park, right? But for the sake of the game being a more even contest between bat and ball, I think you're right. They do possibly still need to tinker with the rules a bit.
I think what's going on is with these T20 and limited over games, bowlers' lives is become more shorter.
Correct.
Compared to, used to be. Plus, too many crickets going on all around the world. IPL, CPL, everything.
Something
50
PL.
over one day, this, that, whatever. So what I'm saying is, let me throw you one question for you guys. We should play Test cricket continue, or we should play at night time to bring the crowds in the ground. What do you think?
Why don't you go first, Jamie?
Oh, it sounds like you had something to say.
Okay.
I want to hear what you say
Well,
first.
okay, so as far as Test cricket is concerned, I don't think people should be concerned as much if audiences are not coming to the ground. The quality and beauty of Test cricket stays and remains. It's just that a lot of people have lost interest or understanding to appreciate the beauty of it. But I think that's okay. That's part of evolution of Test cricket. And people have to go through the T20 phase that we're going through, the one-day phase we're going through, and they will start appreciating the sport again. Without affecting the beauty of the sport, we should be patient and we should let the sport continue. The whole pink ball situation with Test cricket is what you were referring to. Mona square drives the ball to point, that gets a single. Now Freedom are 57 for 3. I don't have a particular opinion about that yet. There are all kinds of reports coming out, people saying if they're colorblind they can't even sight the ball. People like Rogers, Chris Rogers from Australia, but he's retiring, so I guess it doesn't matter. To people saying that they find it harder to see the ball when they're fielding. How would the crowd see it if the ball's coming at them? I'm not too sure about that. Test cricket at night, that's okay, but as long as they do not mess up the balance of the sport, which I think the red ball has a lot to do with.
So you're saying basic of the cricket stays. It doesn't matter play it during the day or night, but stays. Test cricket should be there. That's what your opinion, it seems like to me.
Test cricket should be there, and I don't think we should be worried that people aren't coming to the grounds.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree. I'd go one step further and say I don't want to see it played at night. I think it's great from a spectator's point of view, and maybe to try and open things up to a new audience. But we're doing that in cricket with T20 and ODIs anyway. Why do we need to mess with what is the greatest sport ever invented, which is Test cricket. Okay, T20, ODI, they're the newfangled versions.
And they are on their own
Yeah,
own places.
they are separate.
Test cricket is Test cricket.
is the original game. They've got it to a point in a format where it's been perfected over hundreds of years. Why mess with that? And one thing that it would also, I mean, obviously over the years it's evolved. Like, it used to be timeless, and then it became 5 days, and then, you know, there's been little tweaks. Number of overs need to be bowled in a day, etc., etc. But the more you mess with it, the more it means you can't compare players from different eras as well. So
That's a very good point.
I mean, it's hard enough at the moment comparing a guy like Sachin Tendulkar with a guy like Bradman. We all love to do it, but if you then bring in night cricket and pink balls and playing under lights into the equation, it's a different game.
Those are very, very good points, and some of them I didn't even think about actually. You know, comparison to the players from the yesteryears is definitely there. You made a good point about how we can't really compare Sachin Tendulkar to Don Bradman.
No, you can't, because Don Bradman's the best by far, but that's just me.
Well, no, I agree with you. No, I completely agree with you. There's no comparison there. However, if let's say they were closer, the variable there still would be that they played in two different eras. Now, I personally, in my opinion, Brian Lara is one of the best players ever to have played the game, because he played when the bowling standards were extremely, extremely high. He opened the bowling against bowlers who could swing the ball both ways at pace, and he made them look like, you know, net bowlers. And that is not easy to do.
No.
If you look at Sachin Tendulkar's career, no doubt a great batsman, one of the greatest ever. His cricket picked up after 2000s, when you can clearly see a bit of a dip in bowling standards. But that, again, his standard of cricket was always high. He's probably the only one that has seen that decline in bowling. Now that's a difference in era. How do you compare these people to other players? Now, if you throw in another variable of different conditions, that could possibly mean, if there's for example, Virat Kohli. Maybe Virat Kohli is going to be a better batsman than Sachin Tendulkar if he is able to perform at night in Test matches, because there will be more swing. Imagine playing in England under lights at night. There will be more swing. But again, we don't know how the ball is going to behave. So there's so many variables. Hence, your point is well taken on my part, on my side, that, you know, how we can never compare these players. Averages won't mean much.
The thing is, these days, every year by year, the cricket model has been changing. Different bowler, different game, different kind of formats and everything else. ICC changing rules, like you say, so you have to update it yourself every year, like a doctor go and checked out, you know, their update their studies, or pharmacies update their new medication, just like that. In rules and regulation you have to, you know, follow. A lot of times umpire maybe forget this free hit, this, that, power play, inside, outside, 5 player, 6 player, whatever. You know, so all these things become more complicated. Let's coming back to the game, 58-3 after 11 overs.
Yeah, meanwhile, back in the middle, while we've been talking, not a lot's been happening. There's some guy out there with a broom sweeping the pitch. That's about the extent of the action you've missed. So, you know, we'll just continue our discussion.
Still, it's about a couple thousand spectators watching this tremendous cricket here in Laurel Hill Cricket Ground in Secaucus, New Jersey. One of the best ground in United States, in northern area.
Monarch cuts the ball to covers, no single. Temur is bowling accurately. This is his third over, so it's one more over to go. Power play is another thing, right? So let's come back to beautifully placed behind the mid-wicket fielder.
Well, just before you move on to the power play, I just want to say, personally, I could discuss different batsmen and who's the best across eras, etc., till the cows come home. I love,
Me too.
absolutely love that discussion. And if anyone wants to get involved, I actually have a Facebook page which is almost, well, it's not dedicated to that discussion, but we tend to come back to that discussion quite often. It is called Cricket in the Americas on Facebook. I've got about 1,800 people on there who also love discussing nerdy cricket topics. So if you're listening and you're not a member of that group already, please jump on. And if you've followed any of the stuff that I've said, we recently had an interesting discussion about Bradman versus Tendulkar.
Beautiful ball by Timur there.
So Jamie, you from New Zealand?
I am from New Zealand originally.
I'm originally from Pakistan, but I've been here long enough to be a local now.
I'm originally from India. I've been here 25 years.
Oh, very nice.
So, you know, long enough, but still in touch with cricket.
Absolutely.
Follow cricket very closely. We used to watch a World Cup when there was no satellite. We used to get together 25, 30 guys and put special satellites to watch cricket.
Very nice.
Awesome.
Timur runs in.
In 90s, I'm talking about.
Dotson able to get on top of that ball this time. Guides it to short third. No single there.
Well,
As far as
he's
I know-
struggling here, Dodson. He's yet to get off the mark. He's faced about 8 or 9 deliveries now, I think. We've just seem to have lost the live scoring feed again.
Oh,
dear.
the vehicle drops.
Dear.
Huge drop here.
That's it.
Keem
Oh,
Dotson's been
boy.
dropped at. Oh, he still has not scored a run.
Yeah,
That
he's,
was a huge
that was
drop.
straight to the man at backward square leg. I mean, it was above his head, but he really should have taken that.
Big wicket.
Yeah,
Yep,
missed
that's a
by-
huge drop. Well, is it safe to say that Dotson can walk up to Navitgul and say you've just dropped the cup?
I think
yeah.
full credit
possibly.
to the bowling team because they are bowling extremely well. Never give any opportunity or room to Datsun to do anything. I think
Yes.
the
43
way
now
we know the
required.
Datsun, he can go on every bowler or any bowler, but he couldn't do it.
43 now required at
So far.
5.38. So what do you guys think? Where's the money at?
Let's
well,
go Jamie first.
Yeah, look, I mean, Freedom's still got 7 wickets in hand, so you'd have to still bat them from here, especially with these two in the middle. Had that catch been taken, it actually could have been a huge momentum swing.
Give me percentage. What is the percentage?
Percentage, I'll go 65-35.
Okay, how about you?
I would say about the same. 65-35 sounds about right.
I would say 60-40. That's my
60-40.
opinion. You know, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right.
That's just
but, you know, we all-
5%.
Yeah.
Hey.
It's in the ballpark.
But you know, as far as we know the cricket, I mean,
Yeah,
this
but
can
I mean,
happen to anything.
exactly. But
This
going
can
back
go
to what
anywhere.
you're saying, Pac First are fighting extremely hard here. I mean, they could have easily, you know, just kind of dropped their heads and basically given the game away when you're defending such a low total against a batting lineup that's stacked with international players. They've fought very hard, and they haven't been perfect. We've just seen a drop catch. We've seen a few missed fields, but they're clawing and fighting and scraping their way back into this match. And I would not be surprised if it goes right down to the wire, as we see a good flick off the pads
Oh,
by
Monarch.
Patel. He'll get another couple.
So here's my question, and this is related to these Pac First guys. There's a pretty big difference in the fitness levels that you're noticing of the top, at least the top 4 guys that have come out to bat from Freedom, and almost everybody on Pac First team. Now these guys are fighting hard. They've played well in this tournament. If these kids get fitter, stronger, how well would they do then? You know, I mean, there should be a big difference in the results they're
So-
achieving and the performances.
So
that-
you were thinking, let's put back them on 10 years back or something like that. All of them.
these guys are
They're
some
young.
of these are actually pretty young. They're in their 20s.
Compared to that, they are superb. I think the way I look at it, they're good.
I mean, they're good, but I don't think they're at their fittest. If they were fitter, I can't imagine how these. Oh, that's a good changeup.
Yeah, well, absolutely. If they were fitter, they would be better, and by percentage points. And you know, just glancing around, just judging by body shape, not wanting to be
Too critical.
rude and offend anyone. But you're right, they could be slightly more athletic. And this is coming from an incredibly unathletic person, so you know, I'll chuck myself in the same position. but they could improve by 5%. And it's the little things. Like, a lot of people think fitness doesn't really count in cricket, especially in T20. But it's the little things, like, oh, that's a great shot.
Beautifully picked up by Monarch.
I mean,
for a
it was
boundary.
short and wide, it deserved it, but you still have to hit it and hit it well, and he's done exactly that over the infield, and it races away 4 runs.
This is the first one of the confidence shot has been played by Monarch Patel. There was a shot of playing outside the legs that made it room and swing it down to the back with a square fence for 4 runs.
Yeah, it looked like
Lovely
poetry on the replay there. Very nice.
Beautiful shot.
Anyway, as I was saying, it's the little things that often make such a huge difference in cricket. It's the ability to get to that ball when you're running around the boundary 1 or 2 yards quicker than you ordinarily might. It's the ability to turn 1s into 2s and 2s into 3s. It's the ability that at the end of a spell of bowling, when you've been running in hard for 3.3 overs and you've just got 3 deliveries left in your spell, to still come in and bowl hard and fast like we saw Jesse Singh doing at the end of his spell.
Exactly.
And that comes down to fitness and conditioning.
Yes.
And I mean, these guys are fantastic, and you were talking about it earlier, how they're a bunch of friends who have stuck together, and you know, they don't just let any old person come into their team, no matter who they are. They're like, no, this is our bunch of guys, we're building a culture. And that's fantastic. They have something that other teams don't. If they could also add fitness and conditioning to their bag of tricks, as we see a suggestion that perhaps Dodson got a touch on that, but no,
So
then boy, I think they could be 5 to 10% better than they
Because
are
it
now.
definitely seems like they have pretty good heads on their shoulders. They understand the game. They're fighting. Everybody's trying in their own little corner or space that they want to be there and do something for the team. So the skill level's there. But I think they need a bit of fitness.
So 13 overs has been done, 71 for 3. The score is.
So just 32 further runs required, 7 overs with which to score them, and Hakeem Dodson seems in no hurry. Perhaps he wants a nice little asterisk next to his name at the end of this match.
Timur is bowling very good length here. He's getting a nice tip. That's very good bowling. Gets the ace, steal a single. That's beautiful running by Monarch. Very, very fast between the wickets.
I think what they're trying to do is play a little bit defensive and take home the entire team safely instead of taking some risk and play some risky shots. It seems to me.
That's just a mature approach from them.
Exactly.
Because at this point they have wickets in hand. If they ever feel that they're getting too close, the difference between the balls and the runs, they can always cut loose. But for now, they're just waiting for bad deliveries. Oh, bowled it. What a beauty. I think that's the Dusra.
There you go.
Did not
Let's see the replay.
understand the ball at all. Did not understand the ball at all. Missing the line completely and missing
Waiting for the replay
the
here.
turn, I think.
It's hard to tell from there, but the way he played the shot, you would suspect that it's the one that went the other way.
Leg stump was
Is there
out.
any way we can get a zoom on that?
I think his leg stump was down.
Just trying to find.
If we can zoom that maybe.
Let's have a look. Here it comes.
So Freedom lost their 4th wicket.
Was that Lexa?
Hard
And
to
out
tell.
was Monarch Patel.
Yeah, Monarch Patel goes after a decent little innings, 22.
Of 21 with 1 boundary.
I think that is where Temur is dangerous. But good for Freedom. This is his last over.
Quite a bit up under pressure, I think, the Freedom now after Monarch gone, because I don't think they have too many good batsmen left over after Monarch. I'm
No,
not
this
sure.
certainly all of their big names have come and gone, apart from Dodson, who's still
Dodson's
out in the
still there.
middle, but he's been struggling. Lost the live score again. We seem to be stranded at 13 overs for some reason, but it's 71 for 4, we believe. Keem Dodson out in the middle, and we'll have to get the name of the new man.
So-
Jesse Singh.
It is
I
Jesse
say-
Singh. He's come out with his wide-brimmed floppy hat on, and he will take strike.
Played for USA.
Well, Jesse is a U.S. player, known more for his bowling than batting. So let's see if he's been sent out here to finish the game off quickly. So I think Amin Jasani was supposed to come out and bat at this number, according to what I have been
Batting
told.
order was
So batting order obviously has been tinkered
Changed.
with here, and it will be interesting to see how Jesse will go about his business here.
I think the next 2 overs very crucial. Let's see, that will give us more percentage here and there to any team right now. I think this seems to me.
So
What do
let's
you think,
wait.
Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely. Although I still think, barring an absolute disaster, Freedom should get these runs.
Oh, that's a beautiful dooser again.
Superb delivery. Missing the line completely, straight to the wicket keeper.
See,
I might be putting the mockers on them here.
see
Yeah,
if
he certainly doesn't have more than 15 degrees of
Yeah.
flex.
at least it's not visible to the naked eye.
No. But yeah, going back to what you guys were saying before that wicket fell about the fact that they were just batting sensibly and playing defensively when they felt they needed to.
This is what it does if you get out.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, despite the fact that this Freedom team is a team that maybe has been cobbled together from all over the place, maybe they don't play together as much as, say, the Pack First guys do. I think enough of the guys in that team have played enough cricket that they know that a team of champions does not always beat a champion team if the champion team, who I'm talking about in this case, Pack First, play together, they know each other well, they're, the collective is better than the sum of the parts, that, if they're not careful, they can end up losing to these guys, even if on paper, particularly chasing a score of only 103, they throw caution to the wind. So they're trying to play sensibly. Akeem Dodson clearly is trying to bat through.
He's
So
struggling.
he is struggling,
right now.
but but he's doing probably exactly what he thinks he needs to do in this situation.
Just hang on to there and just
Yeah,
Yeah.
grit his teeth and try
Well,
and
he's
bat
probably
right
just
through to the
thinking,
end.
he's probably just thinking, let's play the overs and we'll win.
Yeah, exactly.
However,
And that's it. You he's take your singles when they're on offer. He probably figures in 6 overs remaining, surely I'm going to get 2 or 3 loose balls that I can put away to the fence.
well, the issue
And
is
that's
that
the runs.
the issue is that he's only scored 3 runs out 13 or 14
that's what
deliveries.
I'm wondering. 13
So-
14 deliveries has been played.
Yes, I mean
score
those
only
2
3
extra
runs.
overs that he's stolen off the batsman can come back and haunt them.
Yeah, it could come back and haunt them. Yeah, I mean that remains to be seen.
correct.
But now, if we rewind an hour or so, how important are those extra 10 deliveries that Pack First did not bat in the outcome of this match? We said it at the time.
Very good point. Yeah.
Why did they not?
Why
just
did they
bat
swing
out?
the bat? Exactly. They had Timur waiting at the other end, who could have just quietly maybe taken singles.
From this position,
But Zafar
if,
had to
if
swing.
they were chasing 115, say,
That would
I
be
mean
tough.
that swings it way back towards
Would be
Pack
tough.
First.
And the interesting thing, as I said earlier, was when Pack First bowl, you always forget that it's a flat pitch.
Yeah.
Because their bowling is so calculated. That's well bowled again, and
So
I feel at this point, if they get one more wicket,
the
that can,
Freedom will be under a little bit pressure, I think.
I think they will get confused as to what the approach should be at this point.
Let me ask you this, guys. How important is the chemistry and gelling in the cricket with your teammate?
From a playing perspective,
Correct.
massive.
Massive.
Massive. It's huge. You can have guys that personally hate each other. In fact, some of the best teams of all time apparently were not mates, but there was a chemistry and a gelling when it came to playing, and that is absolutely crucial.
But what I'm saying is, like, let's say you bring the player from this town, that town, this area, next state, whatever it is,
Mhm.
bring in 11 to the ground,
Mhm.
playing together. and you have local team who's been playing since long time, over and over. Those two chemistries make a difference, regardless on paper how strong the team is.
Yep.
I
It
see.
will make a big difference on the ground, on the field, because everybody knows if you're playing since long time, your capacity.
Mhm.
What do you take in single? When to take single? You have capacity not to run single, how to bowl, and all
Oh,
that.
that's
Oh, that's
close.
gone. Dotson goes. Huge wicket.
The second that hit his pad, I had a feeling the
Wow.
finger was going up.
This.
It hit him low, it hit him straight, and well, the finger was almost up before it hit the pad, to be fair. Let's have a look on the replay.
Very important wicket has been gone.
Oh, yeah, if that's in front, that's dead. The only thing was maybe it might have been sliding down,
Hmm.
but in terms of height, that it was hitting halfway up the stumps.
So coming back to the discussion about stars coming in and playing for a team, I have a theory about teams like that. I feel if you have stars that are coming in that happen to be batsmen, you, in my opinion, you should always be looking to bat first. Because if you bat second, and if you in a situation like this, chemistry really, really matters.
Correct.
If you're batting first, there's hardly any pressure. You're setting up the game. You let your batsmen play freely, play their shots. Chemistry doesn't really count for much in that situation. It's usually the second inning that where you start to notice the chemistry. Now, if you're bowling second with stars, and the star is a fast bowler, as long as the other guys have good chemistry on the field, you will be fine because he will set up a wicket for you, and then everything else is just basics of cricket: taking the catch, stopping the ball, getting the ball in for a run out. But if you're batting with somebody that you're not used to batting with, especially if they think they're a big star, in certain cases they like to keep strike. Certain cases they don't like to run for runs that you believe are runs. In certain cases they're
Mhm.
going to run for runs you simply aren't fit enough to run, and you will end up frustrating or
Definitely.
irritating them. And that is where the real chaos starts. So my theory is if you have star batsmen, bat first.
I have noticed many times when you have a different areas cricketer get together and play, there's a lot of runouts. Why?
Mhm.
Lack
Why?
of chemistry.
There's the chemistry because you know your
Absolutely.
capacity to take a cheeky
The
single
level
or
of
you know,
trust,
quick single,
fit,
trust,
exactly.
everything else, the fitness and everything else. So it is important. It play important roles when chemistry comes in a cricket,
Yep.
gelling and chemistry.
Absolutely.
That's how I believe.
So at the end of 15, going back to the cricket, there is actually a game happening out in front of us still, and in fact it's very much a game now. For a long time it was drifting and we were all just assuming that Freedom was going to run away with it, but after 15 overs they find themselves 78 for 5 with all of their superstars back in the hutch, and well, it's
26 of 30.
game on,
All
gentlemen.
right.
It is game on.
Percentages, gentlemen.
Except just Deep Singh still there.
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah, but he's
Wow.
he's not a batsman.
well,
I mean, he can
I mean, he
bat.
can bat.
He can
Tu-
bat.
it
But he's
can
no
be a
Shimroy.
today's his day in
Yeah.
the batting.
Yeah.
He had a day in the bowling, maybe
Oh,
today's day for the batting.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Anything can happen in a cricket. The last ball can be bowled.
Mhm.
Please give us percentages now.
Oh, now I become 70-30.
Wow.
70-30 towards
70 to the other guys.
To
pack
pack.
first.
Okay, I'm not changing much. I'm still going 60-40 to Freedom.
I think it's 50-50.
Ah, there you go. So
I
we're
think-
splitting the difference.
Well, I think one wicket here
Can
can
change a
create
lot of
chaos, absolute chaos in
Mhm.
Freedom's camp. One or two big hits can create chaos on the other side, but they steal a single.
things. The
think-
other thing I noticed, there's
Mhm.
not much extras going.
Yeah.
That's where the problem is.
D-
If these people are bowling wide in once or twice in the over, I can see the
And I think that
percentage
is
will
where
change.
Freedom has gone wrong with their plan, because they kept saying that, we really have to chase about 90-odd runs, rest are going to be extras.
How
Yeah.
many extras so far?
Maybe
Can
2
you
or
see
3.
that?
Yeah, there haven't been many. To be
Another
fair, there haven't been
spinner.
many in the whole match.
Oh.
Oh, slight leading,
Leading
edge
edge.
there. There's been. Oh, sorry, that was the first innings. Get a single, every single now, absolutely vital. So there's been 8 extras, 2 leg bys and 6 wides.
About 6
Ah.
wide is not much.
Wow.
Well, it's still 6 too many in my opinion.
Yeah.
Should never bowl a wide, but that's
Oh,
just
what they
me.
call extras.
Yeah, but once in a while you bowl leg side. Little bit on the leg side, become wide in T20.
Well,
so
then
Well,
don't
bowl leg side. Just bowl at fourth stump.
So Jamie, did you play cricket?
Yes, I did.
How many years?
Many years.
So when you retire, you don't play anymore.
No, I had a game about 6 weeks ago, but it was
Oh, then you're still active cricketer.
no, it was my first game in about 3 years,
Oh.
and I haven't played since because I've been injured about 4 times
What you
since.
do, ball or bat?
Mostly a bowler. Sorry, mostly a batsman. Gosh, I've forgotten it's been that long.
How did you forget
You
that?
change your
They both start with B and they just roll off the tongue.
Ah.
No, mostly a batsman. Bowled a bit of dibbly-dobbly medium pace as they get another single. Was that the ball that knocked the wicket out? I thought it was the
He's
batsman.
trying to run out.
I think it was the ball off the body of the batsman, maybe off the bat. I don't know.
Right.
So 80 for 5 after 15.3 overs.
Yeah, maybe 81. We may be one delivery behind on the
Oh,
live
yeah.
score here. Either way, it's 80 something, so they're required 22, 23 runs to win from here.
So Jamie, what number did you bat?
Middle order. Back in my high school days, which was probably the peak of my career, I batted number 4.
And highest score? If you want to share that with us.
Yeah. Embarrassingly, I never got 100. I got
okay.
96 3 times, I believe.
Very nice.
Yeah. But I didn't play from the age of 18 to the age of 31, which is a bit of a regret of mine because I was just starting to make a bit of a name for myself, and then I didn't play for 13 years
Oh,
through
wow.
a
So you started playing
variety
after
of
that?
through a variety of circumstances, and then I went back to playing, and of course I still thought I was 18 and threw my shoulder out the very first training I had, and basically injuries plagued me from then on. But
Oh, wow.
I love the game, love coaching, love obviously talking about cricket, and I find myself lucky enough to be working for a fantasy cricket company now, dream11.com. Make sure you all join and
Excellent.
play.
Very nice.
Doing good job, Jamie.
So yeah, love it. But one day I'd love to coach the New Zealand national team to a World Cup victory. So
Then
we'll
you
see.
gotta go back to New Zealand.
Yeah,
Can't
guess
do it from
guess I have to. Maybe I could coach the USA national team to a World Cup
That's a
victory.
possibility.
Hmm.
That's definitely
Anything's possible in the U.S., you know.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's true. But yeah, no, I love it. And yeah, been lucky enough to travel around the country since I've been here. Been in the country about 3 years. Been to various international and big tournaments.
I think there is a message came from the pavilion for the batting side. People
Yes.
bring some water, and they're taking a little bit of break. The
I think there's a
meantime,
bowling change happening too.
They
here is
need
a live
water?
cricket going on from Laurel Hill T20 Niel Patel Memorial Cup 2015. One of the best ground here in New Jersey. It's Secaucus. It's a live night match going on T20.
Yeah,
Laurel.
we're live on Strive.
Freedom now require 23 runs at 5.11 per over.
The excellent cricket match going on here. in New
And
Jersey.
guys, if you're out there, you're listening, you're watching this broadcast, and you're thinking, well, I'd quite like to have this level of production for my tournament. I think I'd like to have a couple of cameras and a couple of commentators turn up to my tournament. Well, clearly you need to get in touch with the guys at Strive. They're doing a fantastic job.
So let me ask you a question, Jamie. So how much something like this would cost to a club if they wanted to do this?
I
What-
think there
I
are
wouldn't have a
plenty
clue.
of there are plenty of clubs in New Jersey. Maybe they're looking to do this. I'm very honest with you.
That's
Yeah.
that's why I'm
Very
asking.
honest with you. People have question in mind. How can we do this? Let's put this on, our broadcast. Says
Well,
around whatever.
Well, I
Give a
tell you what,
ballpark.
this is what we'll do. It would probably be a little bit awkward if we
Put these guys on the
mention
spot?
all the details on air. But if there's any clubs or individuals out there who are interested, I will get the details, maybe the contact details of these gentlemen, And if you want to send me a tweet to Jamie Paul Lloyd, or you can email me, jamie@dream11.com, or you can try and find me on Facebook. You could go to Cricket in the Americas Facebook group. Get in touch with me. I will get these gentlemen details. You can then email them, etc., etc.
And it comes with the commentator and the live production.
And there you go. There is the email up on TV, up on the screen right now. It is strivenetwork.tv, and I'm sure you can find details up there. But yeah, good point, guys. I think we need more of this kind of stuff on our YouTube streams.
In the meanwhile, Zuffer has come back into the attack, bowled his first ball. It was full outside off stump. The batsman swung the bat, missed it. Runs in for the second delivery now. Ball's full again. Oh! I think that was the pad. No run.
Oh,
that might be run out.
It's a run out.
Oh, gone!
It's all happening. Yeah.
What a confusion happened there. They were saying yes and no, and then J.C. Singh ran. The other guys couldn't back up, and finally
So Keval
they
Patel's
lost the
out.
wicket.
That's the captain.
Yeah, there was confusion with the LBW appeal. I'm not sure if there was ever really a single there, though, to be fair.
And
Yeah.
this is the chemistry I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, earlier when I was talking about chemistry on the ground, on the
Mhm.
field, on the wicket.
And this is
This
where a
is what
calm
it
head
is.
of two people that have great understanding would help and
At-
prevail.
At the crucial time when you run out and lose the wicket, it's one of the worst thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
This
it's
will-
amazing.
I think this will be a turning point for freedom.
Could be. Could be.
Percentages.
Percentages. Again,
Is it the same still?
I say 70 for Pak.
Yes. Has it changed since then? So it's the same.
Well, we've also just been informed of an interesting development with the Freedom team. Of course, there's 6 wickets down now, and we've been told that, in fact,
don't
they are
know.
currently playing 1 short
Yes.
because one of their team's wife has just had a baby, and of course they've had to dash home to be with new baby and said mother. So congratulations to them, first
Congratulations.
off. But it also brings an extra dimension to this game because now they only have 3 wickets remaining.
Yes, I actually mentioned that earlier because when I was talking to the players, they mentioned the discontent they had with the rules tool. Because of the rules, they couldn't get another guy to play
Right.
because you had to have played at least 1 game in the tournament. So they're playing with 10, and one of the fielders who was a weak link on their team was basically just substituting. Zuffer
Right.
runs in, bowls a full delivery, stop through covers.
So Amin Jasani is the new player, and he gets a run straight away. So between himself and Jasdeep Singh, Jesse Singh, they are going to have to pull something out of the fire here for Freedom.
This
And
T20 final becoming very interesting.
it is
Here
very
at
interesting.
Caucus,
Gotta-
Laurel Hill,
Gotta give credit to the Pack
Crown,
First guys.
New
there.
Jersey, United States of America.
Yes. They've come back into the game strongly, and now Latif Amin Jasani, along with Jesse, can guide his team. Full again, straight to the fielder. This is
was
brilliant,
Yorker.
brilliant bowling.
Well, while we've been talking, I've actually had a number of tweets come in, mostly from Mahir Patel. So thank you, Mahir. Appreciate the feedback. Yeah, he's just adding his opinion to some of the discussions we've been having, talking about player endurance, etc. And he's suggesting that the game is over, that it's swung significantly towards Pack First now. He may be right. He may be right. So So thanks for the feedback, Mahir. I may also be able to sneak a prize pack out to you if you can get your address to me,
The score is
courtesy of Dream 11.
The score is 85 for 6 after 17th over.
Lots and lots of messages coming through here.
3 more overs to bat for freedom. Target is 103 to win this tournament.
So yeah, just 3 overs remaining, 18 runs required, which means they need to go at exactly a run a ball, which sounds easy, but they've struggled to score at a run a ball, well, throughout this match, not just the Freedom guys, but also Pack First. So it's going to be tough.
Two things can turn this game around. One is this run out was the turning point. The second is the last batsman who is not going to be able to bat because of the baby, new arrival of the baby. So he left the field, I think. So those are the two important points.
I mean, Jasani on strike, gets a short ball placed, 2 covers, gets a single.
They can do it in singles, can Freedom. So Pack First are going to have to, their players that are inside the circle are really going to have to creep up 5 or 6 yards to try and stop those singles. They need to get dot balls.
Nicely placed, they steal. Oh, misfield by Naveed Gul again.
And that's good play by the 2 batsmen there.
Oh, that's beautiful throw, but too late.
Recognising exactly what I was just saying, that those players are still pretty close to the edge of the circle. They were always going to attempt a single there, and by putting the pressure on the fielder, they forced a mistake, which meant they could come back for a second. In the end, it was a close run thing with Jazzy Singh having to dive. Seems to have grazed his chest, but he's a big boy. I'm sure he'll be fine. And that 2 runs puts them ahead of the required rate, which just eases the pressure just a little bit.
Ease the pressure.
Just a little bit.
I see. We feel a little bit cooler weather compared to last few days here in New Jersey. It was very hot during the day, about 95, 96, and humid. Now today it seems like humidity went down a little bit and nice and cooler. I think it's in the 70s the weather is right now, or 69 around that, and it's a beautiful atmosphere.
Oh, all the good delivery right on the pads. No run.
Dot ball, and that redresses the balance. They got 2 off 1 the delivery before, and with that dot it evens up. So still runnable required.
Oh, turning big here.
Very interesting cricket going on here. It's turned out to be very low scoring game, and Freedom is struggling to reach that target. 6 wickets down.
Quicker delivery, played well off the back foot. They should get another couple here. Sent back though, probably the right call, as the fielder chased the ball very hard and got the ball in the air. It wasn't an accurate throw, but he got rid of it quick enough that it dissuaded the batsman from coming back for a second.
That is Tamuru bowling. It's probably his last over.
So we've lost the live score feed again. Clearly we're having a few issues with the internet connection for the scorer. As we see another run, possibly an opportunity to push for 2 there. The batsman looking a little bit tired, not running as quick between the wickets as they did at the start of the over. And that is in fact the end of the over.
18 of 18.
We're not entirely sure what the score is. I think they scored 5 off the over, which means they should be at 90 for 6 after 18, which means they will require 13 off 12 deliveries to win, 12 to force a draw, which I'm guessing will result in a super over.
I hope so.
I think so. That's the
Okay.
rules they have. But it's getting very interesting.
It
Very,
is.
very interesting and intense. This game is become more intense now.
Oh, I tell you,
And
Zafar and Tamur would be thinking about those last few deliveries they missed, as you pointed out, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
Had they batted those and scored even maybe 6 or 7 more runs, yeah.
The game would be theirs.
Mm-hmm. The pressure would be too much.
I would give full credit to Uday Patel, who organized this tremendous cricket here in Secaucus Laurel Hill T20 2015 Niel Patel Memorial Cup. It's excellent atmosphere here in Secaucus, New Jersey.
And of course, we want to say thank you to all the sponsors who have made this event possible. Crickmax, Bat and Ball, Cricket, for all your cricket requirements. Of course, Strive, bringing this live.
Us at bowls, we get a single.
Singles will do it, or
Very
it'll get them
cheeky
close
single.
enough. There was also some liquor company that I believe is a sponsor. Can't forget to mention them. New Jersey
Farm
Farm
Liquor.
Liquors. Yeah, good stuff. Keeping the commentators powered all night long.
Spectator doing a lot of noise.
Oh, beautifully
Good
turned
shot
away.
by Jesse. Should get a couple here. Drifting into the pads. So a slight error in line by the bowler.
There's a little correction came from our upper level. This cricket has been organized by SGCC Cricket Club. SGCC Cricket Club has been organizing this Laurel Hill T20 2015 final.
Oh, swing across the
It's a
oh,
wide.
it's been called wide. He's drifted down the leg side. And at this stage of proceedings, that's absolutely criminal to give them free runs. Not only that, of course, the delivery has to be bowled again. And perhaps, this is what we were talking about earlier, it may be a fitness issue coming into play. And he's flicked it away fine again drifting into the pads.
And how many
They'll
times?
come back for 2, and the scores.
And how many times do we see that bowlers coming back when they're tired, drift down the leg side, and get flicked for easy singles and doubles?
96 is the score required. 103.
7 more runs.
96 for 6.
So 7 off. Must be off
9.
7 off 9. Yeah, that would be about right.
Talking about fitness for Jasdeep Singh. What a fitness he has. He's running so quick for the second run after
Very
bowling
fit guy.
fast ball.
You know, Jasdeep
That is the
Singh.
quality of international cricket.
Jasdeep
He
Singh.
played for USA.
Yes, I mean he wasn't always this fit. He works very, very hard on his fitness. He
Maybe
keeps an eye on his run up, on how he bowls. He watches his own videos. I've seen him go through all those little things, and of course, you know, the results are there to be seen.
Absolutely. I mean, this I follow a few of the US national players on social media, etc. And I'd have to say that Jesse Singh, Adil Bhatti, and Akeem Dodson are 3 guys, and Fahad Barber as well would be another guy. 4 guys around the country who work their butts off, and you know these guys are all amateur. They might get a couple of $100 here and there for some of these T20 tournaments, but in the main they're doing it you know, in their spare time. They do it because they love the sport, and they work so hard. And yeah, all credit has to go to those guys. They deserve all the success they could possibly get, and you know that they're an example to young cricketers around the country.
Absolutely.
this T20 has been organized by SGCC Cricket Club.
That's South Gujarat Cricket Club. Been playing locally in New Jersey for a very long time.
CLNJ and all local tournaments. CLNJ is the Cricket League of New Jersey.
So it's getting very close to the conclusion now. 1 over remaining. And we believe it's 5, possibly only 3 to win.
5.
Struggling a little bit.
4 to be tie and 5 to win.
Yeah. That's the unofficial score. But we think our man, who's been doing such a good job all night, has been on top of it.
We have some technical difficulty here in our commentary box for the score update.
In fact,
Sorry
it's
about
because
that.
we have lost. Yeah, we've lost the internet,
Ooh.
which is why our score has not been updating. Never
Are
mind.
we still live? We're still live, right?
We are still live. That's the most important thing. The people back home can hear the sultry tones of our voices.
Very important, last over remaining. Required run is 5. Wickets in hands are 3. 3 or 4.
So, ladies and gentlemen, 6 balls, 5 runs to win. Who has been chosen to bowl this over is the key. Is that Rizwan?
The guy who bowled Dusra, I think.
Oh, Temur. Temur still has 1 over left. I think
Would
we-
appear so.
Wow, this is going to be interesting. I mean, Jasani on strike, and that's another interesting thing. I think
We're going to look for a very quick single and give strike to the
I
just
think
thing.
so, but they have to pick which delivery he's bowling, and that is where things can get very interesting.
Oh, dear, he's hit it well. He's
Hit
hit
a
it very
boundary!
hard.
What a
What a
good
super
shot!
shot.
Scores are tied. Scores are tied, ladies and gentlemen. They just need 1 further run for victory.
Crowds, the cheers here. Very loud cheers from crowd. With one of the beautiful shot outside the leg stump. He swings down to the square leg fence for 4. No
Some
fielder
crowd
at
trouble
the
here.
boundary. Ball crossed the boundary for 4. Lovely shot.
So it's there now for the taking for freedom.
5 deliveries left. 1 run required for a victory.
Oh, what a bad time to bowl a short ball, huh? You set up the game, worked so hard.
Yeah, it was all set for a grandstand finish, and 1 delivery ruins it. They've done the
Feeling,
right
man.
thing, though. They brought everyone in.
Everybody's in except for long on, I think. Or is that? That's also at the circle. So that's mid on. Amin Jasani on strike. Oh, he's bowled him!
He's bowled him. It's not over yet, folks.
Wow.
It is not over yet. That is 7
He's-
wickets down.
This
Jasdeep Singh
game-
at the other end is throwing his toys. He can't believe that
This game
Jasani would
Going
decide to play
down
that shot then.
towards
Oh dear.
high maybe.
I mean, I can understand fielders were in. He thought, okay, let me just finish the game off. But I think he probably left the crease a little bit too early. Temur saw that, and Temur being the cunning, wily spinner he is, he pulled the length back.
Freedom need 1 run to win in 3 deliveries left.
But they've only got 2 wickets left as well. That's actually still a factor. Of course, they're
Well, just for the
missing
sake
a
of
player.
making the game exciting, I say, let's hope a wicket goes this ball, and then we see what happens.
I think the new batsman is
If they end up losing this game because one of their players had a baby, boy, that would be a story.
But to be honest, if they lose this game, they shouldn't blame that guy. They should
Well,
blame. I mean,
Well, no, they
they've
should
had
blame the
this
baby,
game.
right? They can't blame him.
But the game
Maybe the midwife.
was theirs
I
for the
don't know. How
taking. I
does that
mean,
work?
how could they be in this situation right now? I mean,
Yeah.
even right now they're going to win, I think.
Oh, they're running. They're running. Got him. Oh, he's shaking his head.
Oh, what a controversial end.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He's called it safe.
This is
Let's
it.
have a look at the replay.
Freedom won this T20 tournament.
Oh.
Let's have a look at the replay. There was never a single there.
There was never a single there, one. And two, I do not understand.
I tell you what, that replay is a bit inconclusive. It's closer than it looked to the naked eye.
Let's see.
It is closer than it looked. The wicketkeeper did take a while to take the bails off. Oh,
Can't
it's
tell.
hard to tell. You have to go with the umpire's decision. And at the end of the day, the umpire has said safe, which means congratulations has to go to Freedom. They have won this game. They have won it by 2 wickets in the end. They got the 103 runs required.
So while we're in this situation, here's the suggestion. I mean, if there is TV coverage, maybe there's room for third umpire decisions in the future.
For the future, yes. Correct.
Absolutely there
I
is,
agree.
but it's something that needs to be determined beforehand. You can't just
Yeah.
Oh,
decide.
of course. And the cameras have to be placed at a certain place. I mean,
Yeah.
right now our cameras are
And
covered. There's no way.
Organizer have to discuss with all the teams. This
Yes.
is
Yeah.
the rules going to be. There will be a third umpire.
Oh, what a nail-biting finish. I mean,
Absolutely. I mean, brilliant that it came down to that in the end.
yes.
Considering at one stage we were talking about being finished in 7 overs and then maybe being finished in 12 overs. And then it's come right down to, well, 2 balls were left. And in controversial circumstances, they score the final run.
But I do think the fielder took his time in throwing the ball.
Did. Let's have a look at the replay
I
once
think the way
more.
I look at it, both things happen at the same time. Both things happen at the same time. Seems like.
Yeah. It's close.
See, the benefit is going to go to the batsman.
Inconclusive.
Without the third umpire, the benefit's always going to go to the batsman.
Right. Anyway, regardless of what you think at home, regardless of what anyone at the ground thinks, there is a man who is given the job of making those decisions. He is
made
the
it,
umpire, and he has called it safe.
and
Therefore,
we should
it is
respect umpire
safe.
decisions.
Absolutely, he's correct.
Absolutely.
Read it in the paper. Have you ever known an umpire to change his mind when the team thought he was wrong? Absolutely not. It will never happen. Decision was correct.
I guess everybody wants to see the replay.
Well, apparently they do. We've now got half the world standing behind us hoping to see another replay. Anyway, ladies and gents, you have just witnessed a sensational game of cricket from the Laurel Hill T20 ground, Secaucus, New Jersey. The 2015 Niel Patel Memorial Cup. I am Jamie Lloyds, and thanks to my commentary team buddies.
Organized by SGCC Cricket Club of New Jersey.
Absolutely. And thanks to Strive for bringing this to us live. Thanks to all
Jamie.
our sponsors. Thanks to the commentators once again.
Yes.
Thanks to you at home for watching. We will hope to bring you more games like this in the future.
It's been a
And
pleasure, Jamie.
We're taking this back.
For the meantime,
Thank you guys. Thank you for giving me opportunity to say a few words.
pleasure.
Thank you.
And for the meantime, we will leave you over and over the replay of this final run out, and you at home can make your decision. Have a fantastic night and enjoy the cricket.
Have a good night.